everyone. Is everything working? I'm a little nervous.
Testing. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Any hot mics, any cold mics, any kind of mics.
Wait, I've got hot mic.
Aw, I miss Mike.
I'm gonna make that joke every time.
Dude, I'm scared of what's going on with his character.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, he just made a deal with the devil. It's fine. It's fine. No problem.
Technically not a devil. Demon.
A fiend of some sort.
Yeah, fine.
And he's all like, "Be good, or I'll come for you." And I'm like, "You just made a deal with a fiend. I don't know how scared I am of you now."
I mean, we kind of did in that we let him go.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't think we were going to be able to stop him. At least
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't going to be on next episode, so he was just going to pop out of existence if you did. Right. Hi. Welcome to Roll For It. Your favorite YouTubers and streamers get together to play some loaded tabletop RPGs. Today we're playing Ascension, our Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign. I'm gonna hiccup. I'm trying not to. It's really difficult.
Breathe.
I feel like we need to give
because you're not
some
breathing.
context. So E's got the hiccups, and the thing is, when E has the hiccups, he has the hiccups. You don't, if you've not seen it before, it's an event. It lasts for many hours and sounds very painful. And probably
I had
is
the
to a
hiccups for
degree.
4 to 5 hours earlier. It stopped, and I messaged an chat like, "Oh, so glad it stopped for the show." And then Maggie made me laugh a few minutes ago, and now
Do
it's
not
back.
blame this on me because I
How
made you laugh.
dare you make me laugh? It's all your fault.
Like I said, you were going to be bound to laugh in the stream at some point. I'm just.
I never laugh
I'm
at
funny
you.
looking.
Never. Anyway,
E's diaphragm is playing an April Fool's joke on him.
I have a very strong diaphragm, and I'm like, seriously, could you just give me like strong arms or strong eyesight? No, I get a strong diaphragm. This is what God gives me. Good job, God. Seriously.
Hey, at least you got something going for you, you know? I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you.
Anyway, so I'm really trying right now. I'm gonna give no, you know what? I'll start it. I'm gonna try it. Let's do the intro. Time zone weirdness is over. As you may have noticed, time zone weirdness has ended.
Yay. Actually, kind of
And-
sucks for me because now I have to get up even earlier.
Yeah, I have to get up earlier. But there you go. Ascension near-death map and Tower Floor GM that's coming soon. There is now a fancy tower map, which will be going up on the Patreon. If actually Maggie wants to show you the map really briefly.
Yeah. Let's see if that scene works.
Let's see if it works.
Does this scene work?
Work.
Yay.
It does. There you go. There's a lovely tower map. This is actually a ridiculous resolution, so it actually looks a bit weird on Roll20 until you zoom in, because when it comes out, it tries to like
I
pack
can
in the
zoom
pixels.
but then it's hard to get the grandeur-ness of it.
Yeah.
You know? I feel like you gotta
There you
zoom
go.
out.
Like, looks good. So that map will be going up shortly.
Someone's saying we're 20 minutes late, but really we were just easing them into it. We were just you know, steadily introducing them to the time change.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
like
true.
we had to just slowly bring you back
We had
in
to
here.
remake all our overlays for 3 people.
Look, there were tech issues. Tech issues need to be dealt with. Sometimes it's not our fault, and we have to deal with stuff on the fly. Just saying, we dealt with stuff, and it also looks great. Look at this. This is a great overlay.
It looks
I
good
came up with
for
this
like
in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm
literally
actually super
made.
into it.
Maggie implemented it in 5 minutes. Like, this is on the fly
I'm like-
work right here.
He was doing the changes to overlays, and I'm like changing the scenes on the thing, making it work.
Yeah, I also really dig this sort of like large kind of this style of painted on concrete look for the characters. I really
Yeah.
dig this. I'm
think it looks
enjoying
good.
it. A bit more colorful. Anyway, also, Mass Effect Mercs Chapter 2 coming soon. In fact, coming soon, not this Saturday, but the Saturday after. Mass Effect Mercenaries will be back. Mass Effect Mercs with our lovely cast of all the 4 mercenaries you've come to love or possibly hate in the case of Tyler. I say it because Tyler knows I love him, really. So if you want to check that out, Bunny, Tyler, Mark, and Katie, absolutely wonderful cast. They'll be joining us for another 4 episode of Mass Effect Mercs. It won't be on Sunday like it was last time. It'll be on Saturday, and that's not this Saturday, but the Saturday after. There you go. That's it. Now we get to do shilling. Like, keeping going and then hesitating when I was going to hiccup. I think I may have passed it. I'm just going to try and keep it down, or it will come back. So I'm going to take the opportunity to eat pizza and hand you over to Bentham for the shilling.
All right. And we'll give Givey a break.
Also, I am much more in my box now. Like, wow. Bam.
Yeah. So Roll for It is able to do all the cool stuff it does, like last minute on the fly overlay making, paying all its cast, doing cool art, and all that kind of. Oh no, I made him laugh again. Oh no. I'm sorry, I'm just too funny. I can't help it.
I know. I expected. I have to look at your face for 4 hours, so.
Oh damn. We're able to do all the cool things we do because of Patreon. We have a Patreon with a whole bunch of different tiers that give you a whole bunch of different rewards, including, but not limited to, MP3s of all of our shows. After shows, we record after every show. We talk about what happened in the show. Or on Sundays, we determine everyone's opinions on different kinds of bacon and how cooked bacon should be. You can also check out character sheets, enemy character sheets, behind the scenes GM notes, plots and plans and maps and all that kind of thing. You can also submit names for NPCs that will get used randomly throughout our shows. You can watch the monthly recaps where the admins talk about the events of the previous month and how things are going. Every now and then we sprinkle in there an interview with a cast member or a GM. So there's a couple of those to check out as well. And if you're crazy, you can support us at the Legend tier, where you get to take part in a once monthly game GM'd by a member of the Roll for It cast. I just did one the other day. I GM'd me some Star Wars Without Number. They rescued a Jawa from a stricken Corellian Corvette and had a really, really bad time fighting a TIE Phantom. I need to stop throwing weirdly slippery TIE fighter ships at my players.
No, what we need to stop is we need to give Bentham a non-moving chair because he keeps sliding himself out of the seat.
I like to move.
Yeah, but you end
wait
up
till I get like a
down at the bottom of the scene, and I'm like, there's nothing I can do to help you guys.
just do the whole frame, and then it's my fault if I'm not in that.
I can't because it's not like a
be.
full 16:9 ratio. It's like a weird.
Oh, it's not quite right. Yeah,
it's not it's like almost a square, but not. I don't know.
Yeah, just wait till I get like the BU chair with the things that fold down into things you can sit on, and then I can gremlin sit in any way I want.
Oh yeah, that chair looks cool. It's like a.
That's the chair I need. I don't sit normally. It
would be the worst. Style. We would never get you in a frame.
Oh yeah, no, I would never be in frame again.
We need to get you one of those chairs that they used to have outside of like palace doorways and stuff, where it was like, so the bodyguards don't just stand up all the time, but the seat is angled like that. So if you like sit down and you actually like rest, you start to slide off the chair. So you have to sit up properly. There we go.
Or you get one of those things that like zaps you, so you have to sit up.
One day I might get a standing desk.
Just slight angles and making Bentham sit upright. Maggie solution: taser Bentham until he learns.
No, they have it's like a thing you put underneath your clothes, like, and it like forces you to it pokes you in the back. I don't know what it does. I don't know how it works. I'm imagining it zaps
Sounding more and
you.
more like a kink thing. This is the kink thing, right?
No, it's like a legit thing for people who have like what's it called when your back isn't straight? Someone knows. Someone in chat knows what I'm talking about. Come on. I'm not a crazy person.
I mean, it is the thing. Sometimes people's backs aren't straight.
Scoliosis? Is it called scoliosis? It's called scoliosis.
That's one
of a particular condition, right?
Yeah, see, chat? We're on the same page. Scoliosis.
No,
or just bad posture, yeah.
The way my posture is going, when I'm like 80, I'll be one of those people that's like doubled over. My head will be at my knees as I walk along.
My posture's got a lot better over the last couple of years, so it was really bad. So I can feel that.
So every now and then I remember posture, and I sit up for like 10 seconds and then forget that I was doing that, and I go back to this again.
That's why I suggest the chair in physics rather than the electroshock treatment that Maggie kind of all about.
Really, I should get a standing desk, but I know if I do that, I will just immediately sit down and just lower it.
I get a
desk I can only stand at. That's the plan.
In my new work office.
What was I doing?
I'm gonna have a stand-up and sit-down desk. I'm excited.
Yeah, I want to get one that you can like higher and lower, because like, you know, when sorry, massive tangent, but whatever. You know, when people in the real world are like, oh, do you want to just sit down, when they like have a chat with you and you're like, no, actually I've been sitting down all day. I want to stand. Let me stand, please. They're like, you're like, no, I spend the entire day sitting down. Let me stand up.
I like to do, sometimes I do meetings where we like walk and talk. I call them walk and talks.
I've done a few of those when we've been having meetings. I'm like, I'm just walking around my house. Please, I need to get my steps up.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the pre-after show.
It gets you the juices flowing, you know.
That was the thing. In my old place, the kitchen was big enough I could walk in a loop around it, and there's no loopable rooms in this house, so I got to find a new way to walk in a circle somewhere.
I forgot what you were talking about, Bentham.
I was talking about the Legend games, I think.
Okay,
I think that's how we got here.
I don't know.
Maybe. Oh, I was talking about that.
TIE Fighter,
I was
Slippery.
doing this.
I wish Slippery moving around, Bentham moving around the frame. There we go. That's how we got there.
I was doing this while I was saying it. Yeah, no, they fought a TIE Phantom. They did great. They saved a Jawa. Lots of fun was had. And yeah, that happens every month. There's also one that the Dot's running coming up in a couple of days. And also, you can support the Daily tier if you're really crazy, in which case we run out of things and we make you a personalized video thanking you for being awesome because we don't have anything else we could do anymore. I don't think... And yeah, he usually breaks out the hand puppet.
Oh, hello!
I'm sorry for inflicting this upon the world. I bought him that. It was a mistake.
Oh, we couldn't possibly do that. Who would clean up the mess?
Oh dear. There's other ways you can support us as well in other places. If you're not a fan of Patreon, you can also do things on Twitch. You can... I don't know what Maggie's doing. You can...
Sign language.
I don't know sign language, damn it.
Good.
Is it because I'm moving again? Are you talking about that?
No.
Just gonna lean over here for a little bit. Anyway, yeah, you can also support us on the Twitch. You can drop us some bits. They'll appear in the cup, which is in E's camera right now. If you wanna do that, you can add bits, take away bits, whatever you like. You can also you can tip. I'm like, what order do I do these in? You can tip. They appear on the screen. Read them out at the end of the show. So thank you for being awesome and supporting the episode. And also, you can of course become a Twitch subscriber. That gives you emotes and badges. He's eating the bits now. You can feed E bits.
There you go.
Being a subscriber gives you emotes and badges and immediate access to the VODs. Normally, you have to wait 24 hours for them to appear on the YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, you can become a YouTube member, which gives you emotes and badges over there. And being a YouTube member, Twitch subscriber, Patreon supporter means you can join our Discord and hang out with us and other fans of the show and talk about us and shows, I guess. I don't know, and other things as well. There's gaming in there. There's a roleplay room. You can join the rear guard for the Sunday show and all sorts of weird, wacky, cool things like that. There's other ways you can support too. Just by showing up, just being here, it already helps massively. If you show up, you make the number go up, and then the websites like us more and show us to more people, and that's how that goes. There's also lots of buttons to press, like following and subscribing, but not the Twitch kind, and liking and chatting and commenting and replying and retweeting and Facebook reviewing if you want to do that. That's always cool. Also, I always forget to mention this, but we also really love it when you clip the show. Cool thing about having sub-only VODs, you can't clip a VOD. You can only clip mid-stream. So if a cool moment comes up, you gotta hit that clip button. You gotta hit it before it's too late, or it's gone forever if nobody clips it. And you can edit clips after the end of the show, which is a thing I often do. I'll just hit the clip button, and then at the end of the show, I'll review what I clipped and edit it and title it properly and ship it off to Discords to show people cool things that have happened. So do that. Hit the clip button. We love it when you do that. And yeah, Maggie makes montages. Your clips could end up in those montages. So we love it when you do that. And that's all the things. How's your hiccups doing?
Actually, okay.
Ah.
Mostly because I'm hiccuping for 4 to 5 hours early. It tires my diaphragm out that it can't keep going. So hopefully, like, Maggie will never make me laugh again, and the problem's sorted.
Well, that might be it. Well, this episode might not be a funny episode, so you might be in luck. Yeah. But usually, I think
if
Arena...
laughing makes me hiccup more, then obviously the answer is crying makes me hiccup less.
Okay. Well,
there you go.
We'll see.
That's how it works.
There might be some crying. I hope not, but maybe.
Speaking of which, right, with that done, last episode, things of note. Perrin found out that, unfortunately, coming back to the city that he spent a lot of his childhood in, it, since then, has been conquered by the Lumarian Empire. And unfortunately, it turns out that Perrin's father seems to be involved in a resistance movement, one that, according to intelligence paperwork, is very much likely to get itself found out early on and disrupted before they can do anything particularly dangerous. They also had to quit a tower run halfway through before they could actually gain a level, having had a very poor stint of luck. But they did come out with a magic gun that Arena has on her person, but she hasn't had a chance to go through because a lot of last episode was taken up with Esgetanyar C being summoned to go to some sort of battle that had been going on for over 800 years, and most of that was spent going, wait, what? As a lot of revelations were revealed, and Esgetanyar C had to unfortunately leave. The soul core being taken so that he could then take on a new form, and the old nature-based Warforged body being left to magically grow into a beautiful tree in the middle of a clearing. With that, Vanya also had to leave you after sharing in a couple of drinks. I guess we will join up shortly after Vanya has parted ways as having a few celebratory drinks. Where do we find Perrin and Arena?
So one thing that would need doing if Gatton is gone is to hand back his key and make sure his room is clear.
Okay.
So that's probably like the first particularly quiet moment the two of them have when they leave the main part of the inn and head up there.
Okay. Oh, you leave the main part of the inn, you head up, you find the room that Gatton had. He spent one night in it and he doesn't sleep, so as you unlock the door, you look inside. The bed is perfectly made up, or at least perfectly as beds in this inn are. The window is closed, the curtains are drawn, none of the drawers and stuff have been touched. There is not very much going on here. You are free to look around.
Perrin will check over and see if there is anything that Gatton has left in here. The odds are slim, and they already have most of his possessions because he dropped them when he turned into a tree.
He did. Let me have a look at his sheet. I don't think he left anything because I don't think he carries a lot. Most of your kit is carried in the bag of holding on Arena. Oh, yeah, there's a couple of things. Imagining Esgetanyar C, who is very singular of mind, they're probably just dumped in the middle of the floor, easily accessible because he doesn't use his room. You see a small trophy from an animal that he killed at one point. I imagine, given that he's relatively young in the body he was in, it's probably like the pelt of a wolf that attacked Arena at one point while they were up in the Dead Cities. And he probably easily killed the wolf and took its pelt. There's also a belt pouch. There is a hunting trap. A spare set of clothes in case anyone ever asked him to wear clothes, but he never does. There is a bedroll, despite the fact he doesn't have a bed or need a bed. A mess kit, tinderbox, some torches, some rations, a water skin, which is half filled, and one cigar.
One what?
One cigar.
Cigar. Okay.
Oh. I thought you
heard
said
scarf.
and was like, what?
Yeah, I was like, does he have a scarf?
Yeah, he's had a huge scarf collection this entire time. He has
Or scar. I wasn't sure what you were saying.
Just one scar lying on the ground. One previous owner.
Like, how does that even work?
Yeah, I was very confused.
Find out.
I don't know,
Come here.
bark, a piece of bark on the ground. I don't know.
Aww.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Perrin starts gathering up some stuff and moving it into someone else's room.
I think
There's
Arena
also 21
just,
gold pieces and 9 copper pieces.
I think Arena just stands kind of off to the side in the room. Like when we go in, I'm assuming we close the door behind us. And she's just kind of like standing there watching Perrin pick up everything. She's a little distant.
What was the money? So I can note it down.
21 gold and 9 copper. If you want to put that on the new a group sheet or something.
He made a group sheet.
Yeah, I think once Perrin moves some of the heavier stuff and gets it out of that room, and at some point we'll come back in and probably just kind of sit down in one of the chairs that, of course, Gatta never even touched. This changes everything.
Arena nods.
He, like, eyes the door, which I think is shut. I'm not even sure what we can talk about out loud at this point.
She just kind of shakes her head and she's like, I don't know anymore.
Apparently, if the gods even know what is happening, it could be destroyed or corrupted or something. I don't know how much the gods know. I don't think they can hear everything that anyone says. But surely they can be made to.
I think that even our prayers are not safe anymore.
Yeah, I think you may have been taking a risk with that prayer to Gat, and I understand why you did it, but if you pray for Gatton's safety, that might make the Raven Queen look for him. I'm not sure how. The gods must not be able to see where he is, or maybe if they're directed, they can. I don't know.
I don't imagine that they can see everything.
No, I think the divine ban stops them from having complete control or knowledge of the world, I think. But selectively, I expect they could see anything. They're limited in what they can do. They have to act through others, mainly, or the towers. Oh, we're talking about stuff beyond gods. We shouldn't be involved in this.
Or maybe we are the right people to be involved.
I mean, I suppose in the sense that whatever means the gods can't know, it's not a danger to us personally, or if it is, not enough that it would cause the balance to tip.
Maybe we need to come up with some code names for things so we can talk about them, but not have people know what we are talking about.
Yeah, that might be a way of doing it.
The key, for instance.
It would be good to talk about that without talking about it. Even mentioning the fact that it is a key and its importance could clue someone in. Unlikely, but dangerous. Oh.
Hello?
Oh, good. I forgot to lock the channel.
We're going to just go to a very quick break, 1 second.
Yeah, 1 sec. everybody, we're back.
Welcome back.
Whoops. Got a little surprised. I forgot to lock
I mean,
the
look,
call.
you were talking about gods being able to be omniscient. Like, they just were like, hey, what? That's the sound of a god. Pay attention.
Excuse me, what's this about gods and corruption and Gatton and a war?
Hi.
Hello.
This is your friendly god. I would like to speak to you.
Where do we leave off? You.
We were talking about making up words to refer to things as like the key.
Mhm.
I have to give it some thought. You can come up with a system.
All right.
In the meantime, I guess we know what we know.
What would we like to call them then?
If we call it Gatton's fight, is that vague enough, or should we not even talk about Gatton anymore?
Probably make it more ambiguous than that. Like watering the flowers or something.
I see, that vague. And that's what Gatton's doing?
Sure.
Sure, Gatton's watering the flowers.
I think that he would like that. Or feeding
He's
the
got a
birds.
couple. He's got a couple friends with him. They're helping him
birds.
do that. Probably a lot of flowers to water, but he can manage it for now. Might want some help later.
I think that is going to be the most important thing for us. Is making sure we help him. Fertilizer.
We've got so
water.
much work to do, and I'm not sure I know what any of it is.
We need
I
to find a
suppose we
way
get
to
to.
help plant things to cover up the dirt. She kind of leans in. She's like, the hole he was talking about, we need to stop it.
Right, yes, but I thought the flowers were like the things that he was watering and stopping them from making the garden look bad. I'm gonna have to think more about how these pieces fit together.
Arena nods.
What we probably need to do is go in the towers more, but part of me wonders if the strength the towers gives us might not be that useful. No. Maybe it should be. The power that they grant us, it existed before. Spells existed before the gods, or maybe the gods made the spells originally, but they're granting powers. They're opening up the possibilities. The power that they give is not necessarily straight from the gods, but the gods allow you to use them, so maybe they are still usable there without.
If we're going to be able to help him with the garden issue, we are going to need a lot more power.
Yeah.
If you want to, you can make a check for that. You seem to be uncertain about a few things there, Bentham, by the way. You don't have to. Just saying you can.
And I think
but Perrin racks his brains about like what is the power that the towers grant, how intrinsically tied to the gods is it? Because if he goes to where Gatton is, which now I can now say because this is in his head, Gatton is fighting to protect what Perrin believes to be a broken seal to nightmare energy of the beginning of time.
Nightmare Landia.
Yeah. If he went to Gatton and he used the powers given by the towers, would that alert the gods that granted them to the powers to him? He's thinking no, but he's concerned.
How would you like to approach this? This is a you're talking sort of about history, but more about arcana or religion. You can take either approach.
Part of me thinks religion, but arcana might make more sense. I'm better at religion, though.
You can take the religion angle, and I can take the arcana angle.
Yeah. If you want, you could make a religion int check, which sounds more like this than wisdom religion. Like this is like the law related to the god. Let's say int religion makes more
12.
sense.
I did not do well on that roll.
Nat 1.
Oh my
no.
god! But I
Does that-
kind of like it though. I kind of like it
Does-
that we're not sure.
Does that make a difference if it's int?
It isn't. Religion is normally int.
Is it? Oh, okay, good. Yeah. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that this is a really fraught question. That the 12, not even address Bentham's for now. Arena, you are aware that there are many
Make a
different
religion
competing
roll
theories.
too, if you would want, but
I think you rolling one thing kind of covers your preferred angle and what you would know about it.
yeah,
Like
that's what I thought.
you know about it from a much more modern perspective. Until recently, it used to be a bit more a religious angle. With the fall of Nerul and the replacement of him with the Raven Queen, people start to be a bit more like, the towers are independent from the gods. Not everyone believes that way, but since a god died and a goddess took over and the tower then changed to her, people start to think that, well, the tower's kind of aspects of the god, but maybe they are independent. And that's certainly probably the angle you come from. Not necessarily, but probably. But whether these are god-given powers that are then intrinsic to the gods, or whether they're powers that have been granted and independent from the gods, is a question that is very much competed over, and you do not know. This is a very hard check to begin with. You might know who to ask or where to ask around. Whereas in the case of Perrin, you have no idea. You have read so many conflicting theories at this point that you have no idea which one is valid and which one isn't, because you, from a standpoint of someone without the internet or that sort of equivalent communication medium, you read a load of different opinions and theories, and the books you get tend to be old or whatever you can get your hands on because you haven't had much money until now. And so you don't know the relative standing of all the theories. And so while you might have read a lot, you have no idea which ones are more valid than other ones without having some sort of education, formal education in the process.
Arena relays what she knows and then is like, but maybe we could find somebody who can help us. We need to talk to Rendry. We need to find him.
He's somewhere in the city. If we still had Vanya, you'd be able to find him.
What do we want to name the key? Watering can?
No, that's a different thing. That's its own thing, unrelated. What Gatton's involved in is beyond the key. Not far, but above
Is it though? I wonder if it can help us.
Oh, the key can definitely help us. It's the key is still way above us. Everything we're dealing with right now is way beyond anything we have the power or the understanding to handle. The key, that's about subverting the towers. What Gan's involved in, that's about reality itself. It's about the existence of the gods. But we can use the key. We can use it to become stronger, maybe. We can...
I don't know.
I'm more inclined to try it now. It gets us into the top of the tower. It lets us see what they're made of and maybe lets us skip ahead a bit. Especially considering how much we risk our lives every time we go in a tower. We can get something extra out of it to save us some trouble.
That last one was so hard. We haven't had to leave a tower like that before. How are we going to do it now that we don't have Gatin? I need to build a new bot too.
Gonna need to find some more help from somewhere. It's a big city. There's a lot of people. There'll be someone looking for a tower companion at least.
Yeah, maybe we could find somebody who already has a duo and we could join them. But how do we do the well, what do we want to call it? She's trying to think of like some code name we can call the key.
Are you looking for suggestions?
Yeah, I'm like thinking.
Perrin thinks a second. He's like, just a different kind of trinket. Call it the cup or something.
People want it to be the sandwich.
Oh, no sandwiches. And also people be like, that sandwich is going to be stale. How long have you had that in the bag? Like,
a cup. It misdirects people. It makes them think it's some other trinket, but every way you would describe it would still work kind of the same. You put it in a bag. You can keep it in a pocket. It's valuable.
Right.
It's a fancy cup.
We can call it a cup.
Have we used the fancy cup recently? We have not used the fancy cup recently. We should use it, the fancy cup.
How are
I
we
might
going
think
to
of
do that
something
in
better later.
the tower without the others knowing, though? That is what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, anyone we go in with they're gonna see what we can do. We'll have to be careful then. Maybe with some people we can't trust them to use the key in their presence. We might have to find someone who we can trust. If not with the knowledge of Gatton, then at least the knowledge of the key.
I don't think we can trust anyone with any of this information. Especially not the cup.
That's less important. Again, if someone steals that, they can mess with the tower. At worst, they could destroy one. That
is
used
not a
to
good
seem like
thing.
it used to feel like a world-shattering thing. Now I know actual world-shattering is on the table.
Speaking of
The state of the
such,
towers seems less important.
well, we need the towers in order to level up so that we can help Gatton.
Maybe we don't.
What do you mean? How else? There's nowhere else that we can get unless maybe we pray
know
to
that
gods.
somehow the New Dawn has gained powers that it shouldn't be able to. Maybe they've done it by subverting a tower. Maybe they have their own keys. Maybe they're taking an entirely different route. They're doing it for all the wrong reasons, but somehow they're getting power, and we need everything we can get.
Well, aren't they just taking the towers and leveling people up?
The way Masha was talking to me, she made out like they were getting it from somewhere else. And maybe it was just subverting the towers, so that kind of counts. So maybe they found a way to tap into the powers the towers give you the way they used to be tapped into before the cataclysm. I don't know exactly how it worked before then. There's not much record these days, but people became as powerful as people like the Empress and things before the cataclysm, I think. Now the towers determine it, but there must still be a way.
Right. Well, then maybe we need to find older scriptures or people who might have that type of knowledge. We'll find a way. But I think you're right. The towers won't be the only way that we can find this. Especially for the time we need to do it all in.
We need Masha.
How are we going to find her? Vanya can't even find her.
Masha finds us. The only way I've noticed yet to get her attention is to disrupt their plans, but I have no idea where their plans are taking them. Maybe if we did something in Andorra. They know the map is there and they're trying to get it. If we destroy the map, that might get her attention.
I was trying to find a way to send a message to Edmund. But it is difficult here. I feel like all of the couriers are paid off by the Lumerian.
And if not the Lumerian, the New Dawn might have some ways and means as well.
Probably.
Practically the only thing we could trust is a delivery in person. A message.
So, let's see what we can do to find Rendry. We need answers about the cup. And what about your parents?
And Perrin kind of he just kind of stops for a second. You can hear gears clashing in his head as he suddenly shifts and he's like, oh, I've got to find my dad and stop him doing something stupid. I didn't even think about it. It seems so inconsequential now.
Well, we are here, and we are probably going to have to go through the tower a few times. So we have time. I think I will need to build a new bot somehow without anyone knowing what I'm doing.
Yeah, that might take some time. I mean, there's definitely you're going to be able to source the parts in a place like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're going to use Gatton to send a message to my dad. We were going to do that straight after going to the park. I think I'm just going to have to go see him.
Do you want me to go with?
Maybe not. I think this is a one-on-one thing.
All right. But what if something happens to you? I don't know what I'm going to do if I'm all alone.
What would happen to me? I mean,
I don't know.
I'll visit him, I'll talk to him. I mean, unless I'm incredibly unlucky and the place gets raided by Lumarian while I'm in there, but based on the reports, they've not caused enough trouble yet.
All right. Just tell me when you leave and let me know when to expect you back so that I don't worry.
I will.
What are we going to tell Pietro? Pietro loves Gatton.
Well, tell him Gatton had to go home. No need to
Alright.
say where that is or why or how.
Marina's eyes kind of like well up a little bit, but she keeps it together. All right then.
He's not dead, he's just a long way away. We'll see him again.
She nods. Then I guess I will try to see what I can do to find Rendry. You talk to your parents and we will meet up. I will also try to get some things for my new bot. I was going to make some designs, but I was too sad.
I know the feeling.
But I know we will
I'm
need
gonna go see.
the help before we go into the tower, so I want to do it
Yes.
quickly.
Go see my dad tomorrow. For now, I need to just rest and think. Get my head around everything we learned.
All right. Seems like we found everything we could in the room. We should probably give the key back.
Oh, I'll take it down.
And I think that's kind of where we're gonna...
Yeah.
We have a plan.
Takes the key.
Got a lot of stuff to do. I don't know if we're gonna
We
do it all
do.
this episode. So my goal is to look for where we can find Rendry Tonk because we have yet
Sure.
to find them. But we know they're in this town somewhere, and the other or near. And I would like to build a new bot.
Sure. And would you like to discover what your new weapon does? Because we haven't mentioned that yet. You haven't had a chance. Things got out of
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be something that I would like to do too.
Well, first things first, going in chronological order, you're going to take the key back. Do you want to extend your stay at the Cunning Warlock?
Probably should. I'm down with sharing rooms if you want, or if you want to just have 2 rooms, we can pay for 2.
We can definitely afford to.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, a double room is slightly more expensive, but it's not quite as expensive as 2, but, 2 rooms is easy. How long would you like to stay for?
Well, we still need to go through the tower 3 more times, so.
I mean, you might also
Should we
want to
book in
change
for-
location or something, so it's up to you.
Oh, that's true.
I'm thinking we book in for a week for now and we see where that takes us. How much is
Sure.
it per day per person?
So last time you got 4 rooms for 2 nights. It was a little bit more than, I think it was like 2 gold or something. So I think it was 2.5 gold. So call it 2.5 gold a night. Sorry, 2.5 silver a night. You want a week each, so 7 gold.
All right. I'm gonna mark it off my own for now because I haven't yet consolidated that into the group pot.
Wait, 3.5 gold.
Wait, what?
My bad. 3.5 gold because it's 2.5 silver each. 2 of you, 0.5 silver. I'm 7. 3.5.
Okay. Putting stuff back. I think that's right. I have 1888 gold on me.
Woo.
Okay.
188
I'll chuck it in the pot later when I can do maths.
1888 gold. And then we have 32 plat, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And then we'll convert it into the ledger later on.
Okay.
So the Cunning Warlock is 12 on your map, by the way. It's in the middle of Shadowgate. You'll have probably come in through Applecatch, so it's quite close to where you came in.
There. And there.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay. Well, you're gonna rest for the night. Over the course of the night, Arena stays up late, planning and looking at her new gun. You assume you use your identify firstly before you attune to anything these days. You have time. There's no rush. Yes, it is a carbine. This shortened rifle is of pristine condition and shines with a menacing glimmer along its dull metal barrel. The frame made of white, almost pearlescent alloy, its weight is surprisingly low. The barrel has been engraved with a phrase along the edge, which is in Undercommon, so you'd probably get Perrin's help to translate because Perrin can use the tech languages. Comprehend languages, which says, if an injury is to be done, it should be so severe that vengeance need not be feared. And it also magically engraves the phrase, your injury was insufficient on all rounds fired from it. The gun itself is +1 to attack, +1 damage roll. It has 3 charges. You can spend 1 charge to immediately make an attack as a reaction against a creature that causes damage to you. And as 2 charges, you can cast Hunter's Mark as a 3rd level spell, which cannot be then redirected to another creature when that one dies. When you are reduced to 0 hit points, you regain 2 charges. And it regains all charges on a long rest. There you go. It is a rare item as well. So it's the first rare that Arena has.
Oh.
As for your new design, as you work overnight, spending many long hours putting it together, by morning, you have in front of you, I guess because you're so small, there had to be like a little bit of scaffolding around it at some stages.
Probably, yeah.
So it's something like, what, like a 5 foot tall, 6 foot tall? How long? It's a medium creature, so you can decide how tall you want this thing to be.
Ooh.
It could be 6 foot tall. It could be pretty large. It could also be like 4'6". That's kind of the dividing line.
It is more of a tank. So bigger is probably better.
Okay. So almost standing 6 foot tall.
Plus I'm like 2 feet, so it's funny whenever it's like.
Yeah, you could definitely like get towered over by this thing.
I want to be able to like ride it if I need to, because that has been the thing for me is ride it. Yeah.
So I imagine this is like Perrin comes in the morning to see what Arena's been up to, and like he's definitely heard sounds through the wall. What you see in front of you, Perrin, is like this beautiful, like dark blue to black kind of metallic bird standing almost 6 foot tall, definitely inspired by the ravens that you've met so far, with a kind of pearlescent shimmer to the edge of it, like the metal actually gleams in the light coming in through the actual window behind it. It's your height. You look it in the eyes, and as you do so, you can kind of get the glimmer inside of the orbs of something going on, and it kind of then begins to tilt its head, and you hear the sound of servos and gears moving as it goes.
Perrin stops as he walks in, like, oh, that's a new design.
I got a little bit inspired.
I can see, I can see where the inspiration comes from. Fitting. Does it fly?
No, but it can spread its wings.
Okay, flight
And it
another
cuts
time.
kind of like a couple of inches into the walls on either side.
Oh, okay, yep, that's. I can see the value.
There's definitely like blades along the edges of the wings. It's gone straight through like a chest of drawers.
Oh, we might have to
That'll
fix
yep,
that.
that'll work.
I go. Arena runs over to like mend the table.
Luckily, the cut is just small enough, just shallow enough, and very clean that you mend it and it just disappears.
Oops. I think it will do.
Agreed. Keep at it.
Maybe I can figure out how to make it fly. But that's something for another day.
Yeah, maybe when we're in not the middle of a city, it might be interesting to see the thing take flight. If we flew it here, we'd probably be burned at the stake.
Probably. So what's
Alright.
your plan today?
I want to play things carefully with setting up the meeting. I'm worried there's a chance that people might be paying a lot of attention to my presence, at least some Lumarian agents. Anyone who knows that I'm a relative of someone who is in a rebel cell, however well or little known that is. I'm just going to take a walk around the city. Just wander from district to district, see the sights. Visit places I used to know, see if they've been gutted of all cultural relevance. And then I'll come back. I'll keep an eye out behind me to see if I get followed, and then tomorrow I'll try and visit my dad.
All right. I'm going to try to figure out if I can find out where Rendry is.
Right, good luck. If you need any help, I'll be around.
You too. Be careful. Be
Alright.
very careful.
And Arena will go and hug you. And she hugs you like almost like if it's gonna be the last time she ever hugs you.
Perrin might tune into this and like hug back and be like, it's all right, Arena. I'm just going for a walk.
I know.
We're in this together. I'm not going anywhere.
She's like,
I know.
and she acts like she's like she knows that you're coming back, but you can tell she's terrible at deceiving. She thinks that you might not come back.
Oh, God.
She doesn't know anymore.
We ruined a perfectly good gnome is what we did. Look at it. It's got anxiety.
I mean, yeah.
And I would have told Pietro the night before I started building them about how Gatlin's gone home. Yeah.
Make me a deception roll.
Family. Oh no. I'm so bad. Okay, let's see. 12. 12 is my
Pietro
number
accepts
today.
it. Pietro accepts it.
All right.
He's like,
Oh, okay. I hope Gadden has a good time with his family. He hasn't seen them in years. I'm really glad that he found them. I'm really happy for him. I know you're going to be sad that Gatton's gone, and I'm here for you. But I'm sure that Gatton is really enjoying his family, and he'll come back when he's done, because I know how much he cares for you. It's okay.
and then Pietro goes over and like hugs your toe.
Yeah.
The baby pangolin. Yeah.
Arena is like swelling up with tears, but she's just smiling, even though she's like crying. She's trying to be like, yeah, he'll be back. But she's having a hard time, but she's
It's
trying to be
okay.
strong.
I know you'll miss him. Oh, let me get you a tissue.
And then Pietro goes under the bed, and you hear the sound of rummaging. And then, like, little handkerchief is pulled out very slowly.
It's like small enough for one tear.
No, it's a full-size handkerchief. It's just Pietro's
Oh.
very slow with it because it's
It's like
bigger than him.
it's like his blanket.
Probably using it as a blanket, yeah.
Yeah. Arena will
You go.
use it, blow her nose.
It's okay. I didn't need a juve anyway.
Sad.
So, the back.
Oh no, the hiccups. Oh,
Do you want to go to your father, or at least where you think your father is based, in disguise, or are you just looking to wander down as you in your full-on regalia?
In both walks that Perrin wants to go on, he tries to be understated. I don't think he can take the molten armor off like at will. Or oh no, he can. Okay, yeah. He removes
minutes.
that then.
Okay. Bear in mind you can wear clothes over it.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, he stands over a bucket for like 10 minutes, like just waiting for it to slowly drip off.
One of the advantages if you read the armor though is you can wear clothes over it, so bear that in mind.
Oh, could I completely conceal it then? Without issue?
Provided you wear gloves.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he puts gloves on. Do I need to pay for gloves? I don't think I have them normally, but
it depends what kind of gloves you're looking for. Any old gloves? I won't charge you.
Any old gloves.
I don't charge you for them then. Are you going to try and disguise yourself? Or you just like commoner clothing?
He'll make a bit of an attempt at disguise.
That will require a disguise kit. Would you like to buy a disguise kit? Or you can maybe go to a magic shop and ask them if they have anything magical.
How much are disguise kits? They're probably actually not that.
I mean, you have loads of money now, so...
I got 1,888 gold, so...
The party has 1,888 gold, but yes.
Yeah, I know.
Let me have a look for you. Disguise.
Wonder if I have a disguise kit. I don't think I do.
I think you do. Find it in here. Oh, here we go. It's in tools.
No,
Disguise kit, 25 gold.
Tools. That's what I have.
Oh,
I have a lot of tools, but not that tool. I mean, I have a thing that can change into any tool. Could I help?
There is a
disguise
limit on that, but let me check. It's a rare, right? Let me look. All-purpose tool. In variety of tools. In action, you can transfer it into an artisan tool, which is not a disguise kit.
But I also have
there are like
this.
20 artisan tools, but no, disguise kit is not an artisan's tool.
How does the disguise kit work? Because I'm not going to be proficient in it,
tools.
so...
It'll probably be a charisma roll, I want to say. It's left open as to what stat it uses, but I imagine it's charisma, considering it's something that will be used by like actors and so forth. Knowing your mark and knowing how to dress for your mark, etc., very much feels like charisma to me. There might be other stats used for it, but I would say it'd be a charisma disguise. Also, because charisma doesn't really get a tool use love, so I think giving it some tool use love would be nice.
That works for me. It's my best skill, I think. Wait, no, it's my second best skill. Maggie, you alright with spending 25 gold on a disguise kit?
This is the other one that I have. Screwdriver can transform into a variety of tools. Oh yeah, artisan. Both are artisan tools. All right. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, the all-purpose tool is, yeah.
Alright. I'm going to
Both
spend
things are
25
artisans.
gold on a disguise kit.
Can we use the disguise kit multiple times?
Yeah, it's just a kit. It doesn't use any charges or
why not
anything.
then?
I will say, like, at some point, let me just double check.
That seems handy for a lot of
Yeah,
things.
I wouldn't pay that if it was a one-use.
Like,
or
if you
reuse
had
or
more
something.
limited money, I would say at some point you might need to pay a gold to update the stuff in it, but it's unlikely you'll still be in, 20 episodes time at a level where 1 gold will matter, so I won't bother.
Okay. No, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, especially if it's reusable. Yeah.
Yeah. So make a charisma, not proficient roll, so just charisma, to disguise yourself.
Time to
20.
cosplay. Parents cosplaying as
What do you want to look like? It's 20. You're
20.
pretty good.
I mean, he's not trying to look like something entirely different. He just wants to, like, he tries to change his face to be more human, and he'll have the hood up. He'll do.
Yeah. Like
the
20,
one
you
thing that
definitely
I
get
can
out like
do.
the face putty and you like fill in the cheeks a little bit, make your jaw a bit rounder instead of quite so like pointed. Your like ears, you like give a little bit of wax to the back to make them look more. You bring the hood up to make them less obvious. you probably use a little bit of like blush to like make your skin a bit more like pink and pallid rather than the kind of bleached white of the sun elf half in you. Yeah, and you probably even like for that you probably even put a few like bits of lifts in your shoes to make you look like just a slight bit taller, which makes you pretty damn tall, but at least you don't look quite so like Perrin. Maybe you bulk out a little bit with like a little wrap on your stomach. Like it's like 20, it's pretty good. And what's left is definitely something that doesn't look like Perrin.
The lifts will definitely help with deadening the clunk sound that he would otherwise make while walking.
Yeah. And do you have like traveler's garb or something listed on your sheet for like clothing?
That's a good question. Do I?
It will say like
I know I
clothing
do.
or something. Yeah.
I have like extra clothes.
I don't think I actually do. I have an explorer's pack, but I don't think that has any garb in it.
That might actually have clothes in it.
It does not have any garb in it.
Oh.
In which case, if you want
I do have a set of traveler's clothes.
Then you have gear. You're sorted.
Right. And he does do the thing where
Speaking of which,
he takes one.
Maggie does need to buy ammunition for her gun at some stage. I keep forgetting. But yes.
I do. I have that. I have it on my to-do list.
Yeah, you can easily do that while looking for Rendry today.
Yeah, that's what my thought plan was.
Yeah. Okay.
Perrin does do the plan of his first walk. He just goes around the town and sees the sights, checks out a couple of like key landmarks, and probably also he plays it a little bit dangerous and goes to visit his old home just to look at it.
Okay. So, firstly, then, it's a big. If you want to go see the sights and visit your old home, that's probably going to take most of a day.
Oh yeah, the idea is like, what day one he's just gonna have a walkabout. Day two he's gonna go for his dad.
Okay, easy enough. So where would your old home have been?
I don't know where it makes sense. I feel like they weren't a family. They were a family of particularly great means. We like lost a lot of our possessions when we moved, so it's gonna be some pokey. I imagine, like, at best, some kind of small townhouse.
Small townhouse? How rich do you think your family were?
In a bad area, not in a good one.
Okay. In which case, I would say, I'll give you a couple of choices. Firstly, there's Reed Bottom, which is definitely like the slum, but it does touch on Seven Swords, which has recently been what's it called where you gentrify an area. But mostly it's been gentrified after the invasion of the Limaran Empire, because a lot of the stuff that was former Reed Bottom got burned down during the siege and it's got replaced. There's also Glassfields, which is like a step up from Reed Bottom, but it's called Glassfields because you can still find like the volcanic glass there from when the city was raised during the Cataclysm. So you can still like dig up in the actual earth itself like big chunks of glass. Northgate, more of kind of like an agricultural butcher area. It's a place where a lot of the imports come in through the port area. There's Undergate, which is kind of mixed. I would say that would be your better bet for just a generally mixed area. And then Shadowgate, which is again slightly mixed. Like the area towards Towerway and towards the actual walls themselves tends to be more gentrified, whereas the areas away from those roads is still pretty slummy.
And your dad's thing is in the bowels, so it's like way down here.
Down in the bowels, yeah.
If you
So
want
where would
to
you use the
walk
right?
around that.
The bowls.
The
Yeah.
the bowls.
The balls.
The bowels. Balls.
I'm thinking. I like the idea that it was in Undergate, in one of the worst bits of that, one of the really crammed in areas, and therefore it had a view of the tower. You could see the tower from there.
Okay, in which case, that's easy enough for me to add. It'll be number 23. And you will have lived probably like there. You could just about see the tower over the wall next to you.
Mm.
Maybe not even quite so close to that. Probably like Irish. Go. And I'll add it to your legend. Old Veldural household. And I'll mark it as house. Okay. So, you make a tour of the landmarks. What would you like to hit up first?
I'm trying to find the list. See if there's any in particular he'd be
It's
going
in
for.
maps.
Maps. Where's maps? There's maps. There it is. Okay. He's seen the temple, and by extension, he's probably got a glance at the lightning rail. There probably would have been no changes there. Was it the castle we went to when we had
You went to the main
good old
castle,
chat?
yeah.
Cool. Ooh, the Colosseum. Whereabouts is that? Number 20.
So that's south. So it's the exact opposite way to your household. So it might be where you like
that's
start
way
off by
down.
going south. So if you wish to like leave the Cunning Warlock, you go south. You probably go past the Gatton tree in the Royal Preserve, and you can again pay your respects there before heading down to the.
I stop by and I
Colosseum.
give it a nod.
It doesn't nod back.
That's,
but the birds in it all notice you, and they start singing quite a melodic song. As you make your way to the Colosseum, it's pretty busy. People have heard about the tournaments happening, and you can see like crowds gathering. As you get to the square itself, there's a line of people waiting to get in, but there does seem to be 3 different queues, one of which is not even a queue. You see people in noble regalia just going in through one of the entrances. The second one seems to be more like yeomen, people who have some money, tend to be like, you know, decent shopkeepers, etc. That sort of middle class. And then there's the lower classes who do get seats inside, but the seats are relatively limited. And so people tend to queue up very, very early. Outside in the kind of the courtyard area, more towards where the 20 is for the actual map itself, that is just a big open common area. A load of like flagstones that have kind of broken with age, and some bits of grass that at some point grew out of the flagstones, and then people didn't really just clean it back. And you can see that there's a flickering on some of these orbs placed on pillars nearby. And there's an occasional flicker. This, you might know, is where they actually cover what's happening inside the arena, but using like illusionary projections. It's effectively, if you cannot get it inside to see it, then they will effectively broadcast it using an illusion straight outside.
Nice.
The quality of these is not as good, though. There's definitely like a bit of lack. The illusion's a little bit. There is a similar thing inside. I don't know if you ever would have got access to the actual inside, but you probably heard about it. Where, because the costume's quite large, it can be quite hard to see what's happening. There is above what's going on, a much more detailed illusion put together.
The big like 4-sided kind of screen thing and suspended above kind of idea.
Yes, except it's not even a screen. It's a full-on like illusionary 3D like presentation of the participants.
Oh yeah, it's just a giant hologram of the fight that presumably like tracks where it goes. That's cool. That's very cool. Yeah, I like the magicifying of real life stuff there.
It's why it also costs money to go in. Like they have to pay people to do these spells, etc. So there's costs involved.
Is there a particularly interesting fight going on today? Is Perrin able to check?
Today it's only a few days in, and they're still doing like the warm-up matches. A lot of the people going in at the moment, especially this early on when it's not peak time, will be probably people like yourself, levels kind of like 3 through 6 or something will be going on right now. Probably big team matches. So there are a few interesting matches going on, but you probably wouldn't recognize any of the teams by name.
He does make a bit of an effort to search for schedules and see if there's anything interesting about both Sir Gallant and is it Commodus the Great?
Mm-hmm.
Wants to see if
That's
either of
scheduled
those
for
are
4
up to
days'
anything.
time for the very, very final match.
Okay, neither of them are doing anything before then. They just both are having that final fight.
Commodus is not. Sir Gallant is guesting. He's doing some announcement, and he'd also be doing some commentary and talking to like the press, etc. But he's not doing any actual ring events, not beforehand.
Hmm. Yeah, Perrin kind of looks at the schedule for a second, then he focuses on Commodus the Great and seems lost in thought for a minute.
If you ask around, you can find out more details if you want. That's just the gist you'll get from the public schedule.
Yeah, I'll see if I can glean some information off random passers-by about what Commodus is up to.
Sure. Just make a plain charisma roll or something, just general like chit-chat information. You're not intimidating or really persuading, you're just getting the feel. 8.
8. Not great.
There is word that in an early iteration of the schedule, he was going to have a couple of matches, but then they got Commodus in, and then the schedule changed. That's the word you get, but you don't know how valid that is.
And just quietly muses to himself, what is he up to?
There's also
does he
scheduled to
know?
be a big games event later this year to coincide with the 9th anniversary of the conquering of the city. It's not being billed as like a conquering games, it's just being billed as a huge celebration. But it does coincide.
Yeah. Yeah, Perrin just muses to himself as to what exactly Commodus might know about his old partner. See, it was like Commodus was the leader of the team that
The Island Knights, yeah.
Sir Gallant was a part of. Yeah. Perrin's got thoughts about what might have happened there and what might be able to happen from there. He does keep in mind that if he happens to bump into Commodus, he might want to have a chat, and if he can happen to engineer that he bumps into Commodus, it might be nice to have a chat.
Okay.
But he's going to think about that later.
Sure. Where would you like to head next?
He wanders around a bit longer. I think he kind of loops back. He goes through the central regions of the city and heads over to Undergate to check out his old home.
If you loop through the central region, you go into like the inner area, Imperial View, the upper Civil Quarter, or Traitor's Rest. Again, as you're passing through into the central walled area, there's a noticeably heightened presence of guards, and these are all the Marian Legionary. Any you'll have seen outside will generally have been from the city garrison. You make your way past the north end of the Stahlhaven Canal. Huge canal that goes from north to south on the city. Several hundred meters wide. You can see ships going up and down it freely. Most of them just bring in the food required to run the city every day. It's a canal, so it doesn't have any locks or anything. It is a straight line. And you can see as it gets to the center, which is kind of a big rise, it just chops straight through and then goes into a canal below the inner reaches of the city. The actual inner ports themselves are big boxes just cut straight out of the earth, built up with walls on either side, so that people can still bring stuff, even if the place is potentially being attacked. There is defense against anything that comes in from the water. But as you go around the north, you're heading up to your place. So you eventually get into Undergate. It's noticeably a little bit more packed than it used to be. You might attribute that to a lot of the shantytown outside has been cut down. You might attribute that to people being displaced during the conquering. But it's definitely gone a little bit more downhill since you remember. There's definitely people who have been rehoused, houses that have been divided into multiple different dwellings. There's people who are homeless outside, begging for change. People who are, performing street, activities, tarot reading, that sort of thing. Just trying to get by with what they can. But you make your way eventually to what was a well-kept but little run-down townhouse. As you look up at it, it is very much the same, but with one small addition. The alley that used to run to the left is no longer an alley. It's a flight of stairs that goes up to another door, and that door seems to be into the upper floor. It looks like that's a front door now. Your original townhouse home has been converted into an upper and lower home.
Yeah, he stops and looks at it for a minute, shakes his head a little, and carries on.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do, or?
I think he loops back to the Cunning Warlock, and tomorrow he will head to visit his dad.
Okay. So, Arena, what would you like to be doing?
My plan today is to look for Rendry Chonk and get ammo. So those are the two things that I'm trying to accomplish, and to break in the new Raven bot, Raventron. I don't know. We're still coming up with a name for it.
Hallucina 2.0. Yeah, you take your bird bot around town.
And I did want to mention that something that I think would be cool, and it's, I guess, if you would allow me to do it. Not that it has any effect on anything, but the empty soul core that I got from Gatton of his sibling.
Gatton's sibling.
I would like to have incorporated that in the center, like the heart of the Raven bot, if possible.
Sure.
Not that it actually has any functionality. It's more of like a symbolic thing.
Yeah. Oh, totally can do that.
Cool.
Just make sure that in an emergency it can be ejected, so if we ever have to leave the thing behind in a tower, you can be like, boop, I've taken the core. Don't lose that.
that's what I would like.
Okay. Make a tinker roll check for that then.
Ooh, okay. Tinker's tools.
Also, we should totally call it the Crowbot.
The what bot?
The Crowbot.
The Crowbot. But it's not a crow, it's a raven.
But it's such a good pun, though.
23. Ooh.
Yeah.
I was like, please do well on this roll.
It's integrated, but it will take the standard pickup of an item that is not readied, which is an action like any old item. But it is in there, little catches, and you can just boop the catches and pull it out.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So, with that, if you want to buy yourself some rounds, the actual rounds themselves can be easily purchased. I believe the cost, let me just pull it up right now. Or I could just hiccup. That's fine, but we'll do that instead. Is 3 gold per 10 rounds and powder already prepared in the form of cartridges. How many rounds would you like?
Oh my gosh. How many rounds do you think we'll shoot in a session? Probably a bajillion.
I mean, you have multi-tack.
Turn? Or
No, it's 2 per turn for her.
It's 2 per turn, yeah.
Okay. That could be a lot then.
Yeah.
Do you want to get 100? 200?
How much would for every 100, how much gold would that cost me?
30 gold.
It's expensive.
That's not too bad. I mean, 100 will last you a while.
Okay, let's do 100.
Yeah. That's 30 rounds of attacking and then some.
Okay, well, let's do 130 gold if that's cool with you, Bentham.
30 gold, yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Do you want to remove it from the sheet? Please and thank yous.
Yeah,
and I've
I'll
added it
spend
to my
30.
sheet. I currently have 20 crossbow bolts as well. I could probably sell the crossbow bolts because I have the...
Ooh, let me have a look at the price of crossbows. If you want to sell those,
Well, because I have on my crossbow right now, I have the the forever munition, the magical.
You did use some of your crossbow bolts before you got the infusion.
I had 22 originally, and I have 20 now.
Oh, okay. Right.
I have been keeping track of them. But then I put the infusion on my bow, so I haven't had to use...
Yeah, if you want to sell those, I'm trying to find the price of crossbow bolts.
Maybe I should just keep them in case someone else needs them, though.
You could. I mean, they won't sell for much. They are not particularly expensive.
They're not fancy
crossbow bolts.
ones.
They would sell for... Oh, it doesn't give the price in the Roll20.
It's okay. We'll keep them for now.
Okay, yeah. They wouldn't sell much anyway. They're still half
Yeah.
price.
Just so you all know, I can't use my Artificer infusions on this gun because it's a magical gun, and I can only use infusions on non-magical items.
Yeah.
In case people are like, why don't you just put it on that? It's because I can't. Yeah, so I will stop and get some munition if that doesn't require... Are there any fancy munitions? But those probably cost a lot, huh?
Yes, if you want to go to some of the more magical places, you can buy imbued and magical munitions, all of them. For instance, Eric's Emporium, you probably saw they did have some magical bullets there if you want to get yourself some magical ones. But again, they do cost a fair amount.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not now. Maybe future down the line. Okay. Then my next thing is looking for Rendry Tonk.
Okay. How would you like to go about looking for Rendry Tonk in a city of 1 to 2 million people?
That's gonna be the hard part. I feel like artificers are pretty rare, so my first thing would be maybe I could even ask around. Is there a bard that has been in the inn or anything like that that maybe would know people or know stories of people?
I mean, if you just want to ask, like, say, you could ask the barman and say, hey, do you know anyone who comes in who might know people who are connected? I'm trying to look for someone. I don't know where they are in the city or something. You could definitely go there. If you want to start at the bar and work out, yeah. Make a... I would say this be Charisma Investigate.
Okay, I'll just roll in intimidation because
That's what I should got.
The same.
Oh, it's the same. Oh, dear.
Like
You
I
can
don't
just roll
have...
Charisma, actually. If you just roll
Yeah, I'll just roll
Charisma, it will do the
charisma.
flat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's...
Oh, no, you're proficient
No,
with
I'm not proficient with investigation.
Really?
Nope.
Oh,
I'm proficient in
wow.
perception, survival, history, and arcana.
I forget because you're just so intelligent that I'm often like, damn, you must have
Yeah,
proficiency.
I'm just good at investigation because I'm also very
Yeah.
intelligent, yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, and just so people know, we did change my stats, so my int actually is lower than it was previously. We talked about this last
Yeah,
episode.
I mentioned at the beginning of the last, but you flipped
Yeah.
the feat out for a feat
Wow.
that wasn't there. 2,
It's terrible.
you spend the entire
2.
day looking in somewhere for a Rendry Tonk, and it turns out that the name was spelled completely wrong, and the person's name was just Ron Tonkins, and you're like, no, completely wrong person. So the entire day, unfortunately, no luck. They're like, oh, yeah, I know. This is 24B Baker Street. And you go over there and it's just like, name's Ron Tonkins. How can I help you? And you're like, no, this is not the person.
We're never
It's
going to
at the
find
exact
Rendry.
opposite end of the city. She spends all that time traveling, and
It's
like
on her
"Ooh."
little feet as well. Like, it's just,
Well, I'm probably riding on the...
it's very
the
anime.
raven.
You're just riding around on a 6-foot raven all day,
It's like
and everyone's just
hopping.
like, who the hell is she? She must be a tower person. We know this. It's a very uncomfortable ride as it just hops.
Yeah.
It's
Bang,
in
bang,
some areas.
Bang.
I mentioned there's some areas of the city where like someone's just going about their business, and then like a giant metal raven with a gnome riding on it just goes dong 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 dong, and it's just like bloody heroes.
Yep. Arena, you get back. I would say you're definitely like, it's like the feeling if you've ever been riding for too long, or if you've ever been on a motorbike for too long. Like your legs are a little bit bow-legged, very sore on the inside of your thighs because the Raven's not really meant for riding. Like you can ride it, especially without a saddle. It's gonna be a boing, boing from little crow to raven foot. It's oof, it's tiring. But unfortunately, no luck today. You get back about the same time Perrin does. Perrin looks somewhat dejected.
Arena also looks dejected.
No luck.
No. I found somebody named Ron Tonkins or something, and we had a long conversation, but it was not what I was looking for.
Flashback. So, you're a gnome, Maya. What's it like?
I suppose if we just look around for artificers, we can maybe work up the chain.
That
There aren't
was-
that many in the city, and if anyone's going to know about a particularly powerful artificer, it will probably be a less powerful artificer.
That was kind of the route that I was trying to go, but I don't think they understood what I was asking for.
Hmm.
Maybe I might need your help. People don't really listen to me. Also, I feel like I have to shout all the time because they can't hear me.
Because they're above you. It's a long distance.
Long distance calling. New meeting.
These long distance relationships are so hard.
Yeah.
Hello.
There's lots of like they answer the door like, oh, nobody here. They close the door like, wait, oh.
That's what those stable doors are for at inns. It's not for horses. You just open the bottom half and you go, hello there.
Oh dear. My parents says, checked out my old home. It's been converted. It's flats now.
What do you mean it's flat?
Oh, that's a UK term.
Oh, is
I mean,
it? Oh,
it's-
crap.
Yeah.
It is a flat.
It'd be like,
You mean?
yeah, it's
Okay, gotcha. I understand the context
Yeah,
now.
no, we call an apartment block a block of flats in the UK. Don't question it.
I got you.
Because they're
okay.
flat.
Yeah, no, they're flat, and then you put them in a block, and that's a block of flats.
Makes sense.
Yeah, Perrin's like, had a look around. I think I should be. Oh, actually, I forgot that. Like, I would have been looking to see if anyone followed me, like, just in case. I don't think it would happen, but that was part of the idea. Is like,
I guess the American term is it got turned it into a condo.
Yeah, like an apartment building.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just so you know, EE, when I am not in combat, I will have the orb attuned to me, and then when when I am going into combat, like when I'm prepared to go into a tower or something like that, I will have the ring of healers.
Oh, the crystal,
tourism.
right? The side crystal, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Just let me know when you are in combat loadout, when you switch, and
Yeah. So right now I would have the crystal. I would have attuned to that with the gun as well. And I will have this conversation in your head then, Bentham, so that we're not talking out loud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot that I was wanting to like watch to see if I was followed during the trip.
Ooh,
Okay. Feel free to make
That's
a
a
perception roll.
good note to remember.
Yeah. I nearly forgot the entire point of this test run, which was to see if anyone was following, so that I do
You are
16.
not followed.
Okay. I'm concerned
far
about
as
the
you
thinking that it
know.
was involved there. Friend says, as far as I know, nobody followed me, so I think I'm going to be able to safely travel to the bowls without issue. Tomorrow I'll meet him and see if I can calm him down.
All right.
Keep him out of trouble.
And
And
you
find
wanted
out where
to...
my mum is, because she's not in any of the. She wasn't in the brief. I suppose I asked for a brief on my dad, but I thought it would at least mention
Do you want me to
her
help?
whereabouts.
If I'm not going with
That's
you
all right.
tomorrow, I guess I have to figure out what I'm going to do. I can try to look for Rendry again.
I think I want to talk to him alone. I think he might feel better that way, especially with the business he's got himself into. He's going to be struggling to trust people. I want to just.
All right.
I don't know. I just want to see where he's at. I don't know at this point. There was one other thing.
Hmm?
I was thinking it'd be good if we could find a way to talk to Commodus the Great, the leader of Sir Gallant's old group. I'm worried about this fight they're having. Maybe it's nothing, but if Commodus knows anything about Sir Gallant, this could be an opportunity for Sir Gallant to silence him. And if Commodus doesn't know anything, then maybe he should.
Well, where are we going to find him?
I have no idea. I don't know where where they might stay to join the fights. There's probably no specific accommodation, especially for someone as famous, at least in past years, as him or Sir Gallant. They'll probably have some fancy accommodations somewhere in the richer sectors.
Well, maybe that is something we can do after. We are going to be here for a while to get through all the tower runs.
There is something of a time limit. It's in 3 days now, their fight.
Right?
I was hoping to see if Commodus might be involved in some other fighting so that I could maybe find him on the site of the Colosseum, but he's not doing anything until that day.
Well, if the luck runs on my side tomorrow and I'm able to find where Rendry is, I can switch over to looking for Commodus then.
Alright. I'll see what I can do as well, depending on how things go with my dad. I don't know how busy I will be.
I understand. This is definitely more of your forte, but I will do my best.
Alright. I'm sure you will.
Everything is not the same as it was before, is it?
No. No. Feels so different. It's quieter.
I'm even more afraid than I was before. You know when I talked to you in Andorra?
Yeah. The stakes are so much higher now.
But we have to do it. For everyone.
We do. We will.
It will be the best
doesn't look
garden
convinced.
party we have ever thrown.
She smiles.
Sounds like a plan. Alright. Get some rest, and tomorrow's the big day.
She takes a deep breath and she's like,
Good night, Baron.
Good night, Irina.
and she hugs him again. Similar to the last one, like as if it might be the last hug. And she
Like,
goes
I'm
to-
literally just going into the next room to sleep. It's gonna be okay, Irina. It's gonna be okay.
Dude, she's
You've
like,
ruined a perfectly good gnome, is what you've done.
she's like thinks every day is gonna potentially be the last day at this point. She's living life completely different.
Look, it's
I
got attachment disorder. Okay, so also, just so Irina's aware, Irina, if you want to get a saddle for your raven so that you can ride it more reliably, it's not a flying creature, and a saddle would cost you 10 gold for a riding saddle. It's not a combat saddle, but a riding saddle so you could
Can
ride it in everyday
build
life.
something.
I was going to
and
say that. We'll get to that in a
spend
sec.
half
If you want a
or
Yeah, if
something?
you want a military saddle so you can ride it in combat, that'd be 20 gold. And if you want to create one yourself, you would need a proficiency with a certain tool, which you have the tool. I don't think you're proficient with the leatherworking though, but
No.
you could still make the test. And you could potentially do it. It
Oh.
will also take you time though.
I think that the
It doesn't give you proficiency with anything you try and do with it.
variety of tools. Item transforms into any type of artisan's tools, equipment. Whatever tool you take, you are proficient with it.
Yep. So you would have proficiency with leatherworking tools,
Mhm.
and you could construct such a saddle. It would take you half the amount of money because you'd buy the stuff, but it would take you time. Like a saddle of this quality and stuff would take you, a few days. Depending on if you go for a military saddle or for a standard riding saddle.
I think
You could also, if you wanted, go for like saddlebags or a pack saddle if you wanted it to help carry stuff for you.
Ooh. I think we'll go with military Because I think that riding in combat might be handy, don't you think, Bentham?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think we would use it more for that than pack holding.
Yeah. In which case, that normally costs 20 gold to buy. If you wanted to attempt to build it, it would cost you 10 gold. You'd have to make a check, which, knowing your stats, you'll probably pass. If you fail the check by a significant amount, the time and the materials are wasted. If you fail it by just a normal amount, then the materials are kept, but the time is wasted. A military saddle, I would say, would take you probably a week, maybe a little less, depending on how well you roll. And the DC would be probably a 14, I'm going to go with, because it's only a military saddle. But it is a military saddle.
What do you think, Bentham? Do we spend the 20 gold, or do I try to get it cheaper by doing it?
I mean,
I'd say maybe actually just 5 days.
20 gold isn't much to us, so I wouldn't mind spending the full amount to just get it if you want.
Okay. Yeah.
There's also magical saddles if you want to try and purchase a magical saddle.
That's way more money. I don't know if
it is a lot more money. Yes.
Yeah.
You are at that weird stage where you have money now, but you could, if you went for a magic item that was good, you could only buy one, and that would be it. So it's a bit of a dicey situation for you right now. So yeah, if you want to buy a military saddle, they will tell you that to fit it for your bird, they will need to make it bespoke, and so it will be available for you in 3 days.
Okay.
But they will need to make it bespoke. They'll take many sizes of your bird.
All right.
So you come in like, I need a saddle. They're like, okay, what kind of horse? And you're like, bird.
I don't know. It depends which one you go into. If you go into one of them, like the more adventure kind, they'd be like, you'll be like, I need a saddle. They'd be like, is it for a horse? You'd be like, no. They'll be like, is it for a crocodile? No. Is it for a wormling? No. Okay, that's the normal ones. What is it this time? A bird. Like, oh, we occasionally get that. Not often. Does it fly? No. Oh, that makes it simpler then. Go for it. Yeah, so that'll be done in 3 days. That's the quickest they could do.
And that would have been
be
day 2 of us.
That'll be day 2. So it'll be done on day 5, which is the same day that Gallivant and Commodus are having the fight. So I'll put it in my I'll put it in my diary that saddle done.
What's Gallivant doing here?
Sorry, Gallant. Saddle done.
Cool. Perfect. I have
And
noted
that's
on
the
that.
goal.
I can mark off 20 gold.
Yep.
Yes, 20 gold.
Badoop.
If we don't want to tempt fate. I have been rolling 12s, so maybe not.
Yeah. Right, what did you want to do today then, other than that?
A Farina?
For Irina or Perrin or both of you,
I
depending if you
am
work together.
looking for, I'll get the saddle. I'm looking for Rendry Tonk again. And if there's time and I'm successful or something, I will look for Commodus or find out where he might be hanging out.
In which case, what approach are you taking to look for Rendry? Like, you know a couple of people in the city now, but if you want to just ask at like the bar to get connected to people, or if you want to go somewhere else to get connected to other people you don't know, like you can just, go from that. Or if you want
I
to
tried the bar / inn already, so I mean, there's not a lot of artificers, I would assume. So maybe talking to someone more magical oriented, if I can find.
Magical oriented, Arathane and some of the shopkeepers at Arathane's Emporium, or you could just go ask around at the people on standby at the tower, because there's just people hanging around outside waiting on standby. Alternatively, you could ask maybe some of the pubs near the tower. Trying to think where else you could go, really.
Yeah, I can ask around the tower and then maybe the Emporium.
Okay. I mean, the Emporium's nearby, so if you want to go past that first.
Because
that's where you probably
if I can avoid talking
to
to tower people, that'd be probably best.
Yeah. So you're probably just fresh out of getting the saddle measured. Like, I imagine your bird is still getting measured as you just, like, pop across the road to the Emporium. Again, the guards are on the outside. They see you, you walk in through the beaded curtain. Inside, everything is exactly the same as every other Emporium. The shopkeeper you spoke to last time, the one with the severe face. Hello, Irina, wasn't it? How may I help you today?
Hi, I'm not here to buy anything, but I'm looking for somebody in particular. Do you happen to know Rendry Tonk? they are an artificer? I can't
I'm
imagine there
going-
are a lot of them in this town. There's not a lot of us in general.
Make a persuasion roll.
Oh no. Okay. Arena's the worst at all of this. It's great. 2. I imagine she's just mumbling on. She's just like not giving him a breath of air to talk.
While I appreciate that, we are, of course, a shop. I have to ask, we're focusing on selling merchandise or whatever. If you want to talk to, say, Arathane or someone, if you purchase services or whatever, I can call him up, but we are very busy.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was worth a try.
Do you need more health potions?
I don't think we do, right? Or do we?
I
I
think
think
we're,
you're desperately in need of them, actually.
I think we tried not to use
Check.
them as much as possible.
I think I still have my greater healing potion.
Yeah, I still have a healing potion. I think
Do I have
Vanya
a
gave me
normal
one of
one?
hers before.
Yeah, that's why you have the one, because I think everyone used one or something at some stage. It was rough.
I used all my spells. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
All I have is the greater healing potion. Did Gatton
Yeah, I
have
think
any
you've
on
got
him?
that. And no, Gatton was out.
Okay.
I have a regular one.
Yeah.
Perhaps another couple of regular potions then.
Do you want to get a couple?
We have one each, but now there's only 2 of us. I feel like we need a higher density of healing potions. So 1 each on top of what we have.
All right, I could probably.
She kind of like opens up her bag of holding and looks in.
Get 2 more potions.
I'm aware that's a bag
If
of holding, and
that's
I also
cool.
know that looking into it, you can't see anything. If this is a sales negotiation tactic, I'm not quite getting it.
I'm taking this as my 2. She didn't roll very well.
Okay.
It's like checking your wrist when there's nothing on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like the time
Like, oh
is
no,
6.
I have
like,
to go.
It is just a habit.
And she puts the pouch back.
Yes.
I was. Well, if I buy these potions, will you maybe provide more?
I can see if he's
information?
in. Sure. He did take a certain liking to you.
Smiles.
Say if you buy 3 potions, I'll get him to pop along.
3 potions. That is not what Perrin and I agreed on, but
She looks like anxious. Out of character. Are you okay with me buying the 3?
Yeah.
all right, this is a deal.
And she puts her hand out.
She's quiet. She shakes your hand with a little bit of disdain, like she doesn't like touching people. Thank you. It will help with my sales numbers. We have to get the conversions up. And health potions. Just like the rack of health potions next to the little tip we have. Looks good. Those 3 health potions. That'll be 150 gold.
She kind of like looks big-eyed. Takes up the 150 gold. Arena's not a good negotiator. She's not even gonna try.
I will mark that off.
If you were
And,
here, I think you could talk him into it. But she's just glad she's maybe gonna get where Rendry is.
She looks over her shoulder. Arathane, there's a gnome to see you. And you hear in the back, oh, I'll be out in a second. About 20 seconds pass before, again, Arathane in his beautifully manicured goatee, very colourful robed coat, comes out. Oh, Arena Cogdear, it's so lovely to see you. How was your last tower visit?
It did not go very well.
Is that someone is no longer with you, or did you leave it halfway?
She kind of pauses for a moment, but then is like,
We had to leave halfway. It is the
There's
first
no shame
time
in that.
that has ever happened. We've
Oh,
always
don't
made
worry,
it
it happens
through.
to everyone. It's a much smarter idea to leave half the way than not come out at all.
That is true. I was worried we weren't even going to make it halfway through.
That does happen. It's much wiser to take that view and then come out halfway. There's some people who say you should just press on, but also the people who did that and have failed, well, they're no longer there to really say that it was a bad idea, are they? So don't let anyone talk you for it, okay?
Alright. I appreciate that. Not everyone thinks that way, I suppose. But,
Well, some people are idiots.
well, that means I'm back here for you. It's good for business, I suppose.
I mean, I wasn't going to say, but every time you come through, you do tend to purchase more healing potions. So, I can't complain.
I will take 3.
Yes, she's already ringing it up for me. There you go. You know what? Puts like a little bow on each of them. There you go. Makes it a little bit prettier. She mentioned you had a question.
Oh no, are they going to be the advertising bows? Is that what that is?
No, that was a special wax seal, like the wax is used so that when you broke the wax.
Oh, we just have cute bows. Okay.
Yeah, you do have cute bows.
I'm looking for an artificer named Rendry Tonk. Maybe you can...
Rendry Tonk. Well, what would you want with this Rendry Tonk?
I'm looking for a mentor or something of the sort. I have never met really another artificer before. And a friend of a friend has told me that they're the person to see.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
$12. I'm 2s and 12s today. This episode of Ascension brought to you by the number 2.
Well, I do hear occasionally of a Rendry Tonk, but I possibly couldn't really say. Make an insight check.
Ooh. Hiding something. He did ask, like, why? So I'm curious. Oh my god, 2! What is happening today?
Okay, please carry on the scene as if you're like, oh, this guy knows nothing whatsoever. Okay. Absolutely oblivious.
All right, I can do that.
He's like, oh, possibly couldn't say. It's, the name rings a bell, but... He's definitely eyeing other people in the room, but you just think he's got a twitch in his eye right now. He's like...
I keep asking everyone and no one knows. I even talked to this person named Ron, and he had a lot to ask me. Mostly about being a gnome, but... Which,
well...
I didn't think being a gnome was that interesting, but he made it very interesting.
I personally, Oh, 1 second. There's a faint sensation in your head before... I need to figure out which button this is.
There we go. Arena, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Why are you asking after Rendry?
Do I know who this voice is?
It seems Arathane is looking very intently into your eyes.
Oh, is it like a weird head, like, in my head thing?
It's telepathy, yeah.
Okay. I telepathy back.
Oh, I can do this too.
It does sound like my head is rather empty right now, the way you're doing that, but sure. So, what could you possibly want with Rendry Tonk?
Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
I need to ask him some questions, like I said before.
About...
Being an
Look, I know you wouldn't be
artificer.
asking if it wasn't important. I do know that name.
Being an artificer. Like I said, there's not very many. I've never
I
met
can put you in
another.
touch with many artificers. Rendry Tonk is another thing entirely. Level with me. We're inside your head right now.
Marina takes out a locket. She takes out a locket. The one that has her mother, like, it changes from her mother to her father. Or her grandmother to her grandfather. And she kind of opens it and shows it to him. And then says,
This is my grandmother. She was an artificer too. And I always thought she would be the one that would help me learn things, but she's not here with us anymore.
I'm dreadfully sorry.
My friends have told me that Rendry is the one to talk to. So, that is who I'm looking for. I don't know any other artificers.
That's okay. If you're just looking for someone to be able to give you some hints and tips on being an artificer, I know several good artificer scholars. Rendry is maybe not the person you're looking for that.
I'm pretty sure they are, because everyone was telling me to talk to him. Or them.
Would you like to make a deception roll?
sure. I mean,
Okay.
I don't want to, but I feel like if I have to, it's not gonna go well. Just so you know, chat. We'll see though. The rolls may say otherwise. 8. Nope. Today's not my day. No, some days you have good days, other days, no. And today's
26.
reading right through me.
He just looks at you and gives you the blankest stare, and then you kind of realize he's like, Is that your story? Oh, come on, Arena, you've got to think a little bit better of me than that. I do understand it must be very hard for you, but you have something else in mind. I'm not going to forward you onto someone like Rendry Tong without something much better. For your own good as much as the Rendry's.
Alright, fine. We're looking for them in particular, because they have some information that might be helpful for me, but I can't go into detail about it. You know how these things work.
Okay, you piqued my curiosity. Tell me something that makes me understand the import of this, and if it is something that I think Rendry could be of help with, I'll do what I can. Pinky promise.
She offers her pinky and like puts a kiss on the end of it and then says,
You're really going to make me say things that I'm gonna get in trouble for saying.
Don't worry, I get in trouble for things that I say all the time.
Me too. It is not fun.
It's a little bit fun. He winks.
I'm looking for information on an item.
I mean, we do that as a service. What
This is a
it?
very particular item. That maybe we shouldn't even be talking about in our heads, honestly.
Okay, so the reason let me get this straight. The reason that you're going to tell me why you want to see them is something that you can't talk about.
Exactly! That is exactly what I mean.
Right. Irina, you're not very good at this, are you?
No, they usually don't let me do the talking, but everybody's busy.
Look, if it makes you feel any better, I can use a gas spell. Then I don't have to disclose what you say to anyone else, and it will penalize those who break the spell.
I don't think you want to know either.
Okay. Can you tell me anything at all about it instead of just telling me it? Is it to do with the... Wait a minute. You were going into the tower up in the Dead Cities. In Vihoras, you went into the... Are you the one who broke it?
No. Why would you think that I was the one who broke it?
Make a deception roll.
Of course. I do kind of like that we both have like sound effects for when you're talking in your head. It makes it easier to decipher what's happening. Yes! The one time I need to be deceptive, I am! Yes!
13.
I mean, I'm not sure if this helps because it just means they'll be like, oh, never mind, then I won't tell you where Rendry is.
Oh, sorry, I must be getting someone else. Never mind. Must be someone else. Well, I'm not sure I can help you. No offense, but if you are really just looking for someone to talk about tonight, and there are far better people than Rendry. It's a name you probably even really shouldn't talk about too much.
Why?
Some of the things they're into aren't quite kosher with some people.
That is precisely why I need to talk to them.
Okay, now I'm very confused. What? Okay, Irina, you have to give me something, or I'm going to have to get back to work.
All right, I will give you something. Can you wait here a moment?
Sure.
All right, I will be back.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go get Pietro and bring him back.
Now I have to switch between two voice profiles. Thank you. Okay. You get Pietro, you come back. Ta-da!
Oh. Well, I can possibly see why you want to talk to Rendry. Why did you think you want to talk to Rendry?
I need to build something for my friend here.
Really?
Well, part of it, yes.
I wanna be a tower climber and an adventurer, but I don't know if I can because I used to be a pangolin and now I'm a sentient pangolin, but I don't know if I'm allowed to go in towers because normal pangolins don't really think when they go in towers. I didn't do anything until I went into a tower, but now I can think and...
You are very adorable. Okay.
Gone into the tower, and this might have happened.
Make a deception roll.
Oh, no. 16. I mean, I'm not lying. We did go in the tower and something did happen.
19.
I mean, that didn't make Pietro sentient. Though.
Yeah,
No, I guess that's...
Look, Irina, I know you're lying to me about many things now, so I have to be a little bit worried. Rendry doesn't need protecting. This... Just Pietro. Very much a decent reason, maybe, to see Rendry.
You see the
You
predicament
at least
I'm in?
convince me that you maybe mean well. You have lied to me a few times now.
Of course I mean well. I would never hurt it. Would never hurt people. I mean, unless they were hurting me, that would be a different story, but you know.
Okay. Well, I know far more about your kinks than I want to, but very well.
You don't know, this means so much. I really appreciate it.
I'm going out on a limb for you on this one. You owe me one.
A limb?
No, more like a task or a job or something.
Ugh. I'm gonna owe a lot of people a lot of things. Okay, deal.
It's the story of our lives.
She offers her hand.
He shakes it.
And she looks over
where
at
you say the
Pietro.
name Rendry Tonk. Tonk's shop exists in the astral realm. I actually based this place a little bit on Rendry's early work. The entrance tends to move. If you want, I can find out where it is right now. It is somewhere in the city, but it tends to move around. Come back here tomorrow and I'll have the address for you.
Alright. Thank you so much. It means so much. That means I can go. Thank you.
Pleasure as always, and tell me for real. Did you break that tower?
No. Bye!
Okay.
I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for the potions.
She takes it back.
Yes, it's been a pleasure doing very normal, everyday business with you, Arena Coglia.
I like the boss. I will let everyone know they should come here for potions.
Okay.
And she like winks at him.
He winks back. Please make a note, you owe Arathane.
Oh god. Okay.
Okay. And with that, we're going to go to a break. Before, I assume you crashed the old throne looking for Perrin's dad.
What's the guy's name?
That'd be a thing.
Arathane.
Arath.
I believe it is number 11 on the map, Arathane Emporium.
Alright. Yay.
So, thank you for watching. We're back in 8 minutes, and you can watch some more when we come back with, I'm sure, happy family shenanigans that aren't going to have any consequences whatsoever.
It'll be fine.
Fine, sure, let's go with fine.
Okay, bye.
Hello?
There we go. Now
Can
it's
you hear
back.
us?
No, like the
Hi,
whole audio
welcome
bar was
back
not
after
there.
the break. Everything is fixed. There's no technical difficulties. Also, joining us today is Temple. Temple, take a second to just say who you are to everyone.
I'm Temple Smith, known as Blind Temple on Twitter. I help with blind accessibility needs.
There you go. Excuse me for my pauses. The hiccups are back with a
He
vengeance.
has the worst hiccups right now. But we're excited to have you here. Sorry for the confusion. Earlier, people might have seen someone join the call. That was who joined. Surprise!
Technical difficulties. So,
Blind guy problems.
with that, we will continue where we left off. Perrin, you wanted to go down to the Old Throne Inn,
I
correct?
super successfly, just to recap what happened earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Super successfully, totally did not mess it up. Got the information we needed to find Rendry. Didn't have to make a deal.
I will be honest, Bentham was completely right when you should have failed that deception test, because then they would have been like, oh, you were involved with that? Definitely worth sending on. You passed the deception test. The one you pass.
Yep. Failed all
But
the
it's
ones
probably
that you
better-
need to pass. Passed the one you need to fail.
That they think that we're not the person who did that. Because we might break this tower.
Yeah, sure. So, Perrin, you pop down to the Old Throne Inn?
Yep.
Okay, so you go south through Shadowgate, past the Gatton Tree again, past the arena, through Seven Swords, which has definitely gentrified a bit since you were actually living in the city. Looks like either it has gone up market a little bit, or that some of it burned down and was replaced with bits that went up market. It certainly did suffer a good brunt of the assault during the war 8 years ago. But as you leave the city and you kind of nod to the guard presence on the actual like gate itself, taking your time to go past, the bowls outside is a relatively ramshackle affair. Every building out here seems to be very temporary. You'll notice that while in the city there is a mix of stone and wood and building materials such as that, the area here there is no sign of a stone building. That is a little bit in contrast to how it was before the war. There used to be a mix of buildings and a bit of a shanty town that sprawled outwards. It meant that the inside of the city wasn't quite as dense, but it seems to have become denser inside the city, and that the buildings outside seem to have mostly been leveled and then replaced with wooden shanty towns or old wooden buildings that haven't really had much attention, love, or repair. Part of the reason for this is that if you don't keep the buildings outside your city in a good state of trimming, people can use them as ways to sneak up on city walls. And yeah, keeping them wooden means you can burn them down if an army comes on you, and then you can see. So it looks like the Lemurians are paying more attention to the defensibility of the city than the Near-Death Kingdom ever did. One thing you would note. But you do find the Old Throne Inn. The sign swinging outside very lazily on a chain has just a picture of the old throne, which used to be in the palace before the palace was taken over 8 years ago.
As Perrin realizes the meaning of this sign, he shakes his head. It's so obvious. They're like, yeah, totally no rebel cells here in this inn dedicated to the throne of the king.
Yep. The sign itself seems to have been cleaned repeatedly, and you can tell this because the actual pole that the sign is hanging on has not been cleaned, and you can see like bits of moss growing along this kind of old brass post that comes out from the side. The chains holding the actual like thing seem to be a little bit longer on one side, and it's swinging kind of awkwardly, twiddling from side to side in the little breeze. As you look around, the actual pub itself is a 2-floor affair, probably rooms on the top floor. You'd assume the base floor being where the actual inn is. And you can see that there's like an entrance to a cold cellar out the back into the alleyway. It does appear to be closed right now, and there is a sign stuck to the door along with a little billboard next to it that kind of has awkwardly scratched on it some writing talking about like, you know, general things they have going on. If you want to investigate in more details and read them, you can.
I'll have a look at the what's going on stuff. See if there's
Room
any
and board.
secret codes on it.
Okay. Room and board, cheap. Closed till drinking time.
Does it say what drinking time is?
No, it does not.
Perrin's like, drinking? He like looks around like the answer's gonna fall from the sky.
Nope.
Like peers through a window and sees that it's dark in there.
It's definitely dusty towards the edges. Someone has gone and cleaned the windows regularly, but towards the edges, they haven't done the like go into the corners. There's cobwebs in little areas and dust caking the side of it. The glass is that kind of not particularly expensive glass where it's kind of warped and it's kind of all sunk towards the bottom of the pane because it hasn't set right. The other poster itself says meetings of likewise individuals every evening on these days of the week.
Is any of the days of the week this day of the week?
Yes. Today would be Thaun's Day.
Okay. Perrin listens for a minute to see if like there is any murmuring or anything coming from inside, just in case, you know, they're using the cover of it being closed for something to be going on in there.
Make a perception check.
$19.
19. You can hear the occasional murmur of discussion of what sounds like maybe 2 to 3 individuals in low tones. Not like they're having a secret conversation and they're hushed whispers, but just like they're talking quietly. But they're coming from inside.
Perrin thinks to himself, it'd be too smart to use the cover of it being closed for a secret meeting. Based on everything else they've done so far. He shakes his head and he leaves. He's going to come back at drinking time.
What time do you think drinking time is?
Perrin's going to guess nightfall?
Okay.
Like, presumably drinking time will have at least started by the time the sun goes down.
Oh. Are you disguising yourself again today?
Yes.
Okay, make me a quick disguiser off today. What are you trying to look like today?
I should probably mix it up. He flips it the other way. This time he tries to look like a full elf.
Okay. What sort of like class or status are you looking for? Are you looking like an adventurer? Are you looking like a peasant? Or
he doesn't want to look like particularly. Actually, no. Yeah, probably like peasant, like, you know, nondescript, shabby clothes. No one wants to pay any attention to them in case they ask for money.
okay. Feel free to make me that roll. What are you doing about the great swords? Because you can't really hide them.
I leave behind. Yeah, I leave behind the reaping blade and the sword of Kiv. I take the hilt of Mindkiller. Stashed very much away.
You would leave me.
You would leave me behind.
You're a giant, like, red greatsword. I'm trying to look stealthy. Or, well, not look stealthy. I'm trying to look like I'm not up to anything, which is hard when you have a giant sword. There isn't going to be a fight where I'm going. You'll be bored anyway.
Why not make a fight? Crush your foes.
I'm not just going to make a fight. I'm visiting my dad. It is of all the situations I have been in for, like, the past however many weeks I have had you in my possession, this is the moment at which I would least want to be in a fight.
Fine. You tiptoe around your former city while its new masters take hold. I will wait in your room with your blade of unknown origin.
A war cannot be won by one man, or one man and a really good sword.
But instead by one man and 3 swords.
The number of swords rapidly becomes irrelevant if you still just have one man.
Tell that to you. You seriously, you're still carrying 3 great swords.
I like options, okay? I'm
Fine.
going now. I head back out with Mindkiller.
Okay. Yeah, in which case, Mindkiller, you reduce it to the hilt, and it is hidden. Roll your deception. Not deception, disguise.
Just charisma, isn't it?
That's charisma. since you aren't proficient.
19. Apparently,
Yeah.
that's my number today. I'll
I
take
think
19 as being
as you're
my
coming
number.
back, you know, like 2 p.m. or whatever, from going to the old throne, you see like a couple of the beggars go past you, both human. They go, "Oh, I'm sorry, chum, you look like you've had a really hard day. Here you go." And one of them hands you 2 copper pieces out of their bowl.
I give back like, I know it's all right. It's worse than it looks.
Okay. But yeah, you get back to Arena. Arena takes her time and then comes back later on looking chuffed. You notice her metallic 6-foot raven
Did that
has
take
chalk
me
marks
all
on
day
it.
to do?
What else did you want to do?
I wanted to see if I could figure out where Commodus the Great would be.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, you could do that.
I'm probably going
How
to go
would you-
towards the arena for that.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming that's where people would be hanging out, and they would know like what the 2 great fighters are up to, right? You know.
Okay, sure.
Arena at the arena?
Arena at the arena. I know every time EE would say arena, I would be like, oh, he's talking about like the place.
So you go to the arena.
Yeah. Do I see any people, or is there like no one around? Like hanging out,
There's
looking at
loads of people
posters?
around. Again, this is, 3 days now to the final fight. So you're in the mid kind of like of the tournaments being held. The crowds are increasing. There's more people camping outside watching the poorly kind of lit projections. The illusions kind of like flicker a lot. You get a sense of like there seems to be some sort of team matchup involving chariots.
Can I spot anybody who
there's-
seems like extra talkative? Like, you know how there's some people who watch movies and they like talk during them the whole time, and then there's some people
Oh,
who are
you want to find
quiet?
the person at the sports event who's like, "Oh, did you know he always bats like a straight 6? Like
Yes.
he's so like, did you see his average for last year? Like, I think this guy's failing. Like he'd injured his knee, and I'm not sure he's back on form. He's just very much the stats person who knows the things and wants you to know they know the things."
Yes, I'm looking for that very gregarious person who.
Make the insight check then.
All right. Ooh, insight. I thought it was going to be a perception.
Oh, insight. You're looking for the demeanor of someone.
19.
19.
Oh,
Yeah, there's someone that's like, look, I know you're talking about Gallant, but Gallant, I think is the solid money, but Commodus might like actually pull it back. Like Commodus has had many months, and we haven't actually seen Commodus in any like grudge matches recently. And word is they've been training nonstop, focusing on only the one thing. So I'm pretty sure it's this kind of fellow. He's got like this rapier at his side, trim noble garb, probably relatively young, looking at like 16, maybe 17. He's got a little group with him, all likewise human young men, and there's 2 women with them who are kind of staring off into the distance like
we hop over, me and my raven, and then the raven puts the wing down, and I like step down off the thing on the wings.
you step down a little awkwardly and then catch yourself.
Actually,
and the
could it
Raven's
be like a slide? I just slide. Yeah.
Make an acrobatics check. Let's see how impressive it is.
Oh god, oh no. Okay.
Yep.
16.
Quite elegant. You do like a one-time barrel roll over and then land on your feet. And like he stops mid-speech. Hi. Like I was saying, but you don't know. Like Gallant is obviously Gallant, and no one's gonna go against that. Like, but Commodus might surprise you. I'm just saying, like, most people expect Gallant, but I would say if the smart money was on, you might lose it, but the odds are definitely worth it if you do win, because I think the bookies are undervaluing. Can I help you?
Yeah. It seems like you all were talking about Commodus, right? Do you know where he might be training?
Oh, you're like one of those groupies. Right.
Yeah. That is what I am. I am a groupie.
Arena doesn't know what she's saying.
Make a deception roll. Make a performance roll. This is more to be the groupie.
Okay. Arena's performance as a groupie. Did I roll?
There we go.
It's just taking forever. 14.
14. Yeah, there's you're like, oh yeah, I'm totally a groupie, and then like the classic like anime Japanese groupie like pose of or whatever, and he's like, oh right, you should look up in like the Velvet Palace or
I don't
somewhere.
think Arena knows what a groupie is either. The
Oh.
chat's asking. I don't think she does. She knows a lot of things. She's very smart, but like about books.
She's like, that is what I am. Do you know where he is training?
Well, I imagine like wherever he wants. Might have got some room over the barracks, or maybe even one of the rooms below the arena or something. I don't know. Everyone's like, then suddenly their mouths open a little bit, like he admits he doesn't know something. You get the sense this doesn't happen a lot. I mean, like all the best, like book out rooms under the arena, but if you're really rich, then you can just book out wherever you want. There are some places that have specific like dueling halls and so on underneath the training barracks that are armored and armed for, you know, high level people to fight. It could have been any one of those.
So none of you have seen him?
They'll kind of shake their heads. Of course they haven't. He's not appearing till the final match.
Oh. Is that like the way they do that? They don't appear? I've
Well,
seen
Commodus hasn't done any matches for like a decade or so. Like ever since, well, yeah, like maybe about a few years, certainly. Ever since he got beaten by Gallant in the arena.
Oh. Then this will be a very good grudge match.
Yeah, it's certainly the first time that like he's taken back to the arena after he was beaten by his, you know, former teammate Gallant after they had the falling out and split up, and then you know the Honor Knights broke up.
And Arena like adds on to that
awkward.
because she's also like a huge fan. She was a huge fan of Sir Gallant, so she also adds on like her nerdy tack to it. And blah blah blah, and she adds like kind of nerds out with them.
Oh yeah, I heard that he went over to the Assist Entropy and started doing matches there. I looked into that. Turns out that's actually just a rumor. There's no actual evidence of that, but then again, they tend to keep their matches much more hush-hush. They don't tend to let most people in. So yeah, I heard about that, but you can't be certain. Like, they say that, so maybe he has been training for this long. But I very much, you know your stuff.
Well, I have been a fan of them for a long time. Even before they all became a group, but then they became a group and now they're, well, you see them everywhere.
Well, they do spend a lot of time together, but they also tend to, you know, do a lot of split-up stuff. Gallant still has his solo career that he's working on, and I think he's making sure that he's got independent choices away from the other people in the group. I think they're very much disposable to him, like, you know, the Chosen Knights really only Gallant and, you know, the three others. No one cares about, like, Henry Harper.
Oh, I like Henry. He's nice. He one time made me a pie.
Yeah, sure.
No, he did. He made me pie. And he put a letter in it.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. She's not lying this time.
I know. The DC's unfortunately going to be high.
12. You know, my number of the episode.
Yeah. Don't worry, we've all seen those lookalikes. But really, Henry, we think a lookalike would at least pick someone more interesting.
Rena like kind of looks down a little bit and is like,
All right, well, thanks.
and then she kind of like walks back up onto the wing of the Raven and hops back away.
What a strange little gnome. Did I tell you the other day I met this like tall walking statue elf man? It was so weird.
Perfect.
Okay, you get
Arena's
back.
rolls here like perfectly demonstrate spoons. She started with a 19, and then it was a 16, and then a 14, and then a 12. Just running out of steam.
Yeah, your will and want to talk to that
Okay.
NPC were very evident.
He said the barracks, or there's like some place underneath the arena, like that.
That's anywhere he could be participating and actually practicing, but he said he's likely to be staying at the Velvet Palace,
Velvet Palace.
which is number 18 on your map.
All right. Ooh, 18. Okay. I'll show that on the map so people can see. 18 is here. Cool. Kind of in the center there, almost.
Yep, fancy rich place.
It's like, does it just get fancier the closer you get to the center of the town? Or, cool.
Much.
All right. That was all I needed to do, and then I can meet back up with everybody.
You get back. You're still running your Raven bot through the basics of like its movement patterns and stuff. When Perrin comes back.
Well, it was closed, but it'll be open later.
Oh, I was able to get some information.
Oh?
Erathane said that he was going to give me the information on Rendry tomorrow, so we can go find out. But they moved their place a lot, so we'll have to go right away.
Oh, okay.
Also,
I suppose, yeah, a powerful artificer can probably be hard to pin down if they want to be.
I know that you only wanted me to buy 2 potions, but I had to buy 3 because, well, I talked myself into a circle, and then they weren't going to give me any information on Rendry, and then the person didn't want to let me talk to Erathane, but then I had to tell them. So she's just like kind of walking you through the mess
Perrin's
that she made.
rapidly losing track of this story. Is like, okay, right, 3 potions. You have 2, I'll take one of them.
So
I've
I
already
might
got a greater healing.
Erathane something at some point. I kind of made a deal that I owe them something.
Okay, that's concerning.
On the bright side, though, I did do that all with enough time to also go to the arena, and I heard that Commodus is probably staying at the Velvet Palace, or he could be staying in the barracks, or he could be staying underneath the arena where they're training. I don't know.
Okay. We can work with that. What? I should tell you what I'm thinking. This is sort of...
Do you want to tell me, or do you want to tell me?
Perrin shakes his head. It's like, it's all right. This is small fry by comparison. I just want to tell Commodus about Fairmeadow and what Sir Gallant did there, and the fact that he seems to be much more warlock than he would like people to let on.
I'm also a little worried about Commodus now because there was this person that was talking all about him, saying that he could potentially beat Gallant, but that he had not been seen in so long. So I'm kind of a little worried maybe he has not been training as much.
It is a bit of a concern if he's just been not doing any known adventuring or doing any fights, and now suddenly he's fighting Sir Gallant.
They said they haven't seen him since the last event where he got his butt beat.
That doesn't sound good at all. If Commodus knows anything, this is the perfect opportunity for Gallant to try and kill him. That said, I have no idea the full context of the situation. Talking to him could be a terrible mistake. For all I know, Commodus is somehow involved in the whole mess. Though it
I was
seems
thinking
unlikely.
that maybe while you go do the things that you need to do, I could kind of sit by the tower and try to find another adventuring group for us. They do have a
It's worth a
standby
shot.
list too, so maybe if someone gets out of the tower early, we could rush in.
Yeah, if we hang around there, and we'll probably be able to meet up with some groups and find a way in that way.
I think that's all I have for. That's all I was able to get. But we do need to
Well,
talk to
that's excellent
Erathane
work.
tomorrow.
Yes. And then there's one more day after that, and then there's the fight. So we could either speak to Commodus the same day or maybe the next day.
All right. Well, we
Do you
could
think
split
it's going to
up.
be all right for me to tell him? I mean, Fairmeadow is small potatoes in comparison to some of the stuff we've been handling, so... This is more so a personal mission for me. I would like someone who can do something about it to know exactly what Sir Gallant did.
I understand. I did send a letter for you, just so you know as well. So hopefully, they'll be able to send
What kind
some-
of letter?
It was a letter to the Raven Queen.
A letter to the Raven Queen?
Well, the cult of the Raven Queen. You know, the church.
About what?
To help cleanse the land.
Oh, of course. I thought you were saying you'd sent something today that I'd missed.
Oh, no. I did not have time for that
Yes.
today. It was a very busy day, I will let you know. So much talking. I do like talking, but not when I have to convince other people of things. I'm going to let you know that what you do, I respect it.
When it comes to talking to Rendry and also to Commodus, I'm happy to take the lead.
Erotin might think that they might think some other things too, because I had to kind of convince them. So I told them that I had something, that it was an item, and then I told them that Pietro needed something. It got very convoluted very quickly.
Okay, makes me more concerned about what kind of favor Earthane might ask of us, but alright.
Marina smiles. Probably for the
Problem
first
to
time
worry
that she
about
smiled in
another
a
day.
while, actually.
Yeah, it'll be up to the Church of the Raven Queen to see if they can do anything about Fairmeadow. As far as Commodus is concerned, all I want is for him to know the truth and then maybe tell some other people that it matters to.
Marina sits down and just becomes a potato.
Right, now I've got to try and work out what drinking time is.
Oh, I need to figure out what a groupie is.
Does Perrin know what a groupie is?
Make a charisma check. I don't think this is attached to intelligence.
Do
think
I
this is
know what
attached to
time
social.
drinking time is? Because I used to be a
Make
drinker.
a wisdom check.
Okay.
I got a 10 on my charisma. I
You
don't know
what
whether I
groupie
know or
is.
not. I do know.
10 is enough.
17. We can help
It
each
depends
other.
where you are. Drinking time is, for someone in a particularly poor area, is generally whenever you get off a shift, immediately afterwards. But for a standard guess, would be probably sometime about 5 or 6 when you finish work.
Okay, I relay that to you.
Oh, that's easy.
Alright, that makes
Drinking
sense.
time.
Oh, and a groupie, that's like a very, very dedicated fan of usually an adventurer, sometimes a bard.
Oh, well, that doesn't seem so bad.
I mean, depending on who you're talking to, it could be considered derogatory. Or the opposite.
All right.
It
I
works.
did kind of
It's
have
a
a
way
tone about them, but I
Hmm.
didn't really care. I just wanted to know where Commodus was.
It makes sense that he would have fans. I don't think that would be suspicious anyway, so that's good.
Phew.
She goes back into potato mode.
She's replaced a potato. Okay.
All right. I guess I'll head back out. It took half the time till drinking time to walk back here, so I will now turn around and continue back south.
Oh, yeah. The walk is, I think the ruler should work. As the crow flies, it is about just over half a mile as the crow flies. So for you, probably about... No, sorry, it's about a mile. So as the crow flies. So as the crow doesn't fly, or as the crow walks, I guess in the case of Arena's Raven, probably in the region of 1.5, maybe 2 miles, including up and down.
And were you going to do that alone?
Perrin wants to do it alone.
Okay. While he's doing that, then I will go look for
Yeah.
adventurers for our tower run.
If you want, by the way, Perrin, you could take Arena and she could wait outside, but I'm not pressuring you. I'm just saying that if you want someone to go with you, you don't necessarily have to go in with you.
Perrin's concern is the more activity there is from the party around the obviously rebel-owned inn, the more that invites danger on us. So he doesn't want to associate Arena with it, and also it feels like this is a chat for him to have in private with his dad about, hey, stop rebelling so much for a minute.
Yeah, I think while
maybe
he's
cool
doing
it.
that, I will look for an adventuring group potentially to go in the tower with.
You'll take the mile walk up towards the tower and then have a look and ask around, see if there's anyone available. Sure. In which case, we're going to join Perrin. Perrin, you get there for what, like 6:30, 7?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. So it's probably
Like
getting a little bit late by the time you get there. The sun is still relatively high. It's, getting late on in summer, but it's still summer. And so as you get there, the sun's getting lower. People are starting to crowd the streets as they're going to and from places of work. And as you get out the gates, everyone around here definitely has a different air. There is definitely the air of depression, sadness, exasperation, tiredness, exhaustion that's, while omnipresent in other areas of the city, is certainly concentrated here. You make your way towards the inn. Make me a perception check as you get there.
Okay. $12.
Not particularly well
More
hidden.
12s.
The inn is open. You can see through the windows. The shutters have been pulled back. There are some people inside moving around. But out back, you can definitely see light moving around in the actual shadows of the alleyway, which seems to be given off from the coal cellar. You can just see it through the very ill-fitting doors of the coal cellar. Little bits of light being cast by the light in the actual coal cellar itself onto the walls. And you see shadows and shapes moving around within the shadows as those are cast out.
Okay. Ben's gonna head through the front.
Okay.
Act like a normal patron.
Sure. Make me a performance roll. Easy DC, but...
Just in case I screw it up. 18.
As the door... And you hear a clunk, 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 which is the sound of the bell, or at least it would have been if the bell wasn't permanently broken. You find yourself in what is a pretty rundown little pub establishment. There's a human behind the bar who's just got like rolled up sleeves, just constantly cleaning a few things and putting them back. There's two other patrons, one of which is at the bar and one of which is off in a corner. And both of them seem to just stop, look at you, then go back to their drink.
I'll head up to the bar and probably take a seat.
Will it be, friend?
I have a look for what they have.
They have what appears to be a barrel. That's it.
Okay. Yeah.
Obvious. That's the only thing that's obvious.
I see. He was more asking what container. That's for like half a pint, and I'll reach into
Half a pint.
for the moment. Keep it fresh.
Okay. That'll be two
Meanwhile, I'm
copper.
racking my brains because I'm like, what I think I need to do is tell him to send a message to Illumin. And I'm trying to think, what would Illumin like? Because I could just say Perrin's here, but I'm like, I want to make sure that he like doesn't come through warily, expecting an ambush. I want it to be something only Perrin, he would know, only Perrin would know. But I'm struggling.
As you sit there thinking,
Oh, I've got
the
it.
mug passed in front of you, there is a loud clonk, clonk, clonk. The door bang, bang, bang again as it opens. And through it walks a very memorable figure. Temple, would you like to introduce what your character looks like?
Yes, he is 6'2", pale green skin, black hair, black eyes. He's wearing battered and much used plate mail and carries a great axe over his shoulder.
Grug, they're looking for security downstairs. Just make
Good.
sure no None of the wrong sort show up.
I can handle it. And I head
Good.
that way.
Perrin, for like, turns when they come in, because I feel like everyone does, so that's probably not going to draw attention. And kind of eyes him for a second, and after this conversation goes, if you could send a message down.
Down to where?
You know.
Do I?
I'm saying it to Grug.
Oh, okay.
Who are you?
I'm a friend. Tell him there's someone with news about old Pip.
I will do this. And I head that way.
Okay.
I turn back to the innkeeper. Is he looking a bit concerned?
He has his hand under the table.
I shake my head. Don't worry.
Not seen your face before, friend. Got a license to worry.
It's been a long time. About 8 years.
There's a moment's pause, and then his demeanor completely changes. He puts the whatever it was back underneath. Still in the house. You know what? No. Fills it up further. Puts it in front of you. It's now a pint.
I will hand over like however much would normally be paid for it. Don't worry. What was it, 4 copper?
Normally,
And-
for a full pint. Yeah.
Yeah, I hand over 4 copper.
Appreciated. Greg, do you pass the message on down below?
Yes, and add in that some suspicious looking sort gave me this information. And
Okay. They tell you to bring them down and keep an eye on them.
this I can do. And I turn around and walk back up and fetch him.
Okay. Aaron, as you turn around again, it looks like the hatch to the cellar, out the like all the way around the back of the stairs, you can just glimpse. Big armored figure comes back out and looks over in your direction.
Perrin nods, takes a big gulp, and follows.
Greg will step out of the way and gesture for him to go down the stairs.
Thank you. And Perrin will head down.
And Greg will follow closely, prepared to have to remove a head if he has to.
Okay.
I think feeling the presence, Perrin does say, just so you are aware, I'm here to talk. I do have some weaponry on me. I don't intend to use it. Please don't panic if you see it.
I rarely panic.
Perhaps panic was the wrong word.
Do not worry, I will perform my task.
And this should be an uneventful meeting for you.
We shall see.
Okay. As you descend the stairs, this is obviously where they would usually keep the barrels in the cellar, etc. Except a lot of them have been pushed off to one side. And there's a small set of tables around. One in the center with some maps that seem to be opened on it. There are a couple of like old leather-bound tomes, and there's a crossbow that are pinning down either side, with one kind of little oil lamp in the center giving off a glow. There's only one figure in there. It's a figure you do not recognize. Human, male, probably you would say early mid-40s at a guess. Dark hair, dark like goatee, eyes quite sunken, very hooded. Looks like hasn't got a lot of sleep recently. Sallow skin, wearing what would typically be sort of like shopkeeper sort of tier clothing. Like, has money, but not a lot of money, but has some money enough to buy more than cheap clothing. But it looks like it has seen better days. It's a bit like sorry for itself, a little bit faded, a little bit ragged around some of the edges, and some of the like threads have come loose in places. There's maybe even one button missing. It looks up at you. So who would you be?
I used to be a resident of this city before it fell. I'm here to speak to a Lumen, if he's here or if you know where he is.
How do you
If
know her
wish to
name?
speak to me. I'm his son.
As if.
You don't believe me?
Yeah, an elf for a start.
I'll pull down the hood. And I will, if it doesn't get caught on my headset, and I will work to remove the, like, some of the key elements of the disguise.
Okay. Now all you're proving is you're very good at taking on other people's appearances.
I sent the message. If you send it to him, he'll know what it means.
Well, I guess we'll find out. Either he'll say you are who you are, or Grunk's going to put you in one of those barrels and we'll drop you in the canal.
Nothing personal. It's just business.
Understood.
There's just a long, tense silence for a few minutes before eventually another person comes down. Seems to be, again, another human, younger, probably about 20. Chats a bit with the fellow you met earlier. They both eye you a little bit. Then another person comes down, then a couple, and it starts to get a little busier. About the fifth, sixth person to come down is a half-elf. Half-sun elf. Looks very like you, except a little bit older, a little bit more willowy. And as soon as he comes down the stairs, there's hesitation. As he looks over in your direction, and there seems to be kind of that momentary pause of recognition. Perrin, you're very evident that this is your father, and he is incredibly taken aback.
Hi, Dad.
You know this fellow. Perrin, what are you doing here? You were meant to go away.
You took a fair bit of finding.
We're meant to be secret. He runs over and just hugs you. And noticeably, you're not squishy. Perrin?
I will hug back and be like, it's a long story. It's been...
Ow, Perrin, that's a bit tighter than
I let go.
Okay.
Yeah. Nobody be alarmed, and I will raise the armor to cover my face.
Yeah, the molten metal armor you wear open over your face until it's a bronze, like, faceplate, hair and all. And everyone kind of does the intake of breaths and steps back. Notably, Grug doesn't do either of those things.
I quickly remove it again. I don't want to hang around.
We have a lot to talk about.
I don't even know where to start.
Belderel, maybe another time after we've done this meeting. We've got important things to discuss. Got a shipment coming in a few days. Yeah, of course. Perrin. After we're done, can we catch a drink? You're in town properly? You're back in Near Death?
I am, yes. I'm staying at the what's it called? The Warlock.
Cunning Warlock.
I'm staying at the Cunning Warlock.
Okay. It's a bit difficult to get into the city at the moment. Travel's a little bit tough.
Are you not able to get inside?
He looks over again at the figure who greeted you. We can get you in a couple of times, but don't overuse our ways. Yeah, I can get inside at some point.
I know you. Okay, you've got to have your meet. I need to know. Where's Mum? Is she okay? What's going on?
He looks very much like suddenly like caught wrong-footed, like a mixture of he wants to tell you, he can't tell you, this is not the time, and gives you like all those emotions go through his face at one point, which you recognize, no insult roll needed, you know him pretty well, he's your dad.
Okay, you can. It's okay.
We'll talk later.
I can wait. I can wait.
And the other fellow again who greeted you is very much giving a hard stare at your father and then at you.
Baron's like, what have I done? What am I causing here? Will I need to wait outside?
No, you can stay. You might be of help. I can't ask any more of you, but
I look to the leader. What is their expression?
you can stay. It might be of use. Whatever armor that is certainly isn't common.
Thank you for accommodating me.
You can stay with Grug. Do security.
This is like slightly nervous eyeing of Grug. It's like, oh, okay.
Over the course of another 10 minutes, a few more people filter in. It looks like your father is, eager to talk to you, but at a few looks from the leader, breaks off to kind of go through the group, say hello, greet people. It's very much like this is a group of people who know each other very, very well. Like, they exchange greetings and hellos that you very much recognize are people who do the, hey, I haven't seen you in a week, how you doing? Or where have you been for 2 weeks? Or whatever. There's certainly one or two people who come in and it's like, I haven't seen you in a month. How have you been? And there's just a little bit of you get the sense. Make an insight check.
Okay. They're concerned about spies is my guess. Like people flipping 12. What is it with 12s?
Yeah, anyone who hasn't been seen in a while.
This episode is just so many 12s.
It's 12.
It's
12
crazy. They just keep trying to make us remember last episode because last episode was 12.
So it's very evident that the system here is that your father is greeting people, making sure to pry friendly-like into anyone who hasn't been seen in more than a week. And then the leader is also giving the nod about whether they're allowed to stay or whether they need more questioning or whether anything should be done. And a couple of times he glances over at Grug and Grug gets into a position like cutting off the escape before he kind of gives a nod and they're allowed to continue on. Everyone here seems to eventually pass whatever test has been devised. And after about 20 minutes since he stepped foot, the slow murmur, which is now about 15 to 16 people, quietens down, and the leader takes the stage. Right, you know why we're all here. Got a shipment coming in next week. Finally get the weapons we wanted after what happened last time. Now, it's not going to be easy. Oh, pretty sure we can offload them correctly. We've retained the services of Grug for tonight and for a few more days. Gestures over towards the towering half-orc. It looks like we might have a bit more help. Gestures over now towards you, Perrin.
I'll give a nod.
Perrin Velderel was forced away from this city. The city he grew up in. 8 years ago. And everyone, there's a murmur goes through the crowd. He's come back.
Perrin to himself is like, well, I mean, I grew up in Fermado, but I'm not gonna split hairs here.
And he's come back to help us liberate this town from the oppressors. Took it from us. Who forced out the old royal family and instituted their own imperialism from a distance. We're worth more than being kept at arm's length. We aren't some satellite province. This city used to mean something. And it's people like Perrin, the son of our very own Illumin, coming back, who are going to be of help to us. Who remember what this place used to be. And there's like a chorus of cheers go through the crowd. Perrin, would you like to say some warm words to this fine group of people who've been waiting for the town to be liberated?
Perrin,
What did you miss about your
internal
city?
monologue is panic.
What did you miss about this city, your fair hometown, having been gone for so long?
I'll stand up. As much as Perrin is concerned about fanning the flames here, he definitely has his own flames already fanned. I walked the city for the first time in 8 years this past week. I saw it had changed. I saw how symbols of Erithus were torn down. I know that under the new facades they've placed, that cathedral is still Erithus's cathedral.
Too right!
And after seeing what the Lumarian have done to erase what we call our own, I want to see this put back into the right hands. I've been spending my time recently growing stronger, but I have more I need to do. I can do what I can to help, but
We'll take it to them.
I've seen what the Lumarian are capable of. I've seen it up close.
We'll
They're
get the
a dangerous
vengeance
foe
we
to face.
deserve.
They're a dangerous foe to face. I think they can be defeated, but we must be careful.
Son, show him something. Show him your armor again. Show them something you can do. Give them some hope. It's one thing we've been lacking.
Perrin's like, I'm trying to temper expectations here. I'm wondering if there's a particularly cool spell I could do at this point.
I mean, you've got a lot of cool gear or spells.
Yeah, I mean, probably the one that makes the most sense is just to do the armor thing. The armor thing's pretty cool. Oh, you know what? I can also draw Mind Killer. That'll be cool as well. It might. There's a slightly riskier one. But yeah, I will step back, making sure there's plenty of space in front of me, and say, "You have my armor," and I will encase the armor and my sword, and I will draw Mind Killer as a great sword and hold it up.
And the hilt of the sword is drawn, and then suddenly, out of smoky shadow, black just coalesces into this blade, goes into this long two-hand point. And everyone's like, whoa, this is what we have. People like Perrin, people like Grug, people who will fight for us. People who will take the fight back to where it's deserved. They've lowered the number of guards. The legions have started to go back to fight the war against the wall, to pacify the tribes in the Drownlands. Now is the time to prepare, for we can strike soon.
I sheath the sword again before anyone decides I'm actually going to try and kill him.
Grug relaxes a little.
I do
Get the
imagine
sense
the
that
whole
Grug
time you're like,
never relaxes
what's he
except when like
doing?
no one has a sword out, and then there's just this like, no, swords out, back to normal mode. Swords out, shoulders up. We have information. People loyal to us. We know that another allegiance is leaving soon. When that happens, there'll be the lowest amount of Lumarian Empire soldiers in this city there has ever been. This gives an opportunity. Once we light the fires of revolution, the city will rise up in memory of what it once was, of what it could be again. We will take vengeance as Erithis demands. And there's a chorus of cheers. No longer under the yoke of some imperial rule. No longer another one of the lioness's conquests. We will show that we have a spirit, that we can fight.
Hiccuping's in character now. They're all a little bit drunk.
True, that's why the hiccuping is happening. When we get the weapons through, I want all of you to get some. Take them home. Practice with them where you can. We're going to have to figure out a way to get them to everyone else. To recruit more people, we need to reach out. This is just the beginning. And with people like Perrin Velderel, we will be able to take this place back. There's again cheering. Right, you know what happens now. I'm going to break them in discussion groups. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves. Remember, half price off at the bar. It's a good day. Everyone cheers. There's a sound of clinking glasses. He gets down. And you're left with your father, Grug, as the leader seems to be doing the rounds. Thanks, Perrin. We needed that.
Now that not many people are looking in his direction, he's just like, oh. Where can we talk in private?
I mean, maybe not now. It would look suspicious if we just left right now.
Oh, okay, I can wait. I mean, eight years and half an hour.
I want to talk to you, Perrin.
I know.
But
I understand. I had a lot of things I had to get done before I could come here.
How long have you been here? How long have you been in Nerdith?
Perrin starts counting how long I've
About
lost
4 or
count
5
now.
days.
It's like
5 days, more like. Yeah.
close to a week now. It took some time just to work out where you were.
I'm surprised you found out so
I
quickly.
think it's only been like 2 days, actually.
It was 2 days until the end of the Gatton thing, and then it's been another 2 days, so I think it's 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like, okay.
In response to like surprise you found out so soon, Perrin's like, I mean, the old throne. Like, really?
Well, we had to get some way of recruiting people to nostalgic memories, people wanting to drink at somewhere where they remember how the city used to be.
It doesn't help.
How else are we meant to find people who miss what this city used to be, Perrin?
I know.
Does that hurt?
I looked at Grug. What?
The armor, when it goes over your head, does that hurt?
No, actually, it's not too bad. Slightly warm.
He goes back to being
very,
stone.
It's very well made. It's I don't know. I got this in a tower, right? Didn't I? This armor.
No, you found it under the base of the Gluthius tree.
Oh yeah, so this might be pre-Cataclysm. Yeah, everyone's like, yeah, it's very well made. It served me well.
Hmm.
Saved me many times. And I grog up and down because he seems leveled. He seems like a larger than life in more than the literal sense. How many times have you been in a tower?
A few. Not as many as you appear to have.
I've been lucky in how I've gathered artifacts.
Lucky and skilled tend to run parallel.
I'd be willing to say a combination of both of those is why I'm standing here alive and in the state that I am, that's for sure. I mean, recently there's been a little bit of bad luck, but I was probably due some of that.
You do realize they'll probably lose. And Greg turns and looks at his father and says, my apologies.
And like there's a look of recognition in Perrin's eyes, and he says, yes, they will. And he then also looks at his dad, who's just like, they've just had this lovely resounding speech, and now the two strong boys are like, yeah, we're dead. This ain't happening.
We have to stand for something, Perrin. We have to have a... have to draw the line somewhere.
There's standing for something, and there's dying for it. I don't think we shouldn't do this. I just think we shouldn't do it yet. I don't think we're ready. I'm not ready. I want to be.
When will we be? We've been waiting for 8 years.
For 8 years, I scraped by. I looted entrances to dungeons and sold knickknacks and old tech and found work where I could. A few months ago, the traveling tower burst out of the ground right in front of me.
He looks... You... How many times?
5. But it's not enough. Not for what you want to do.
When we rise up, people will join us. People will know. People know it's possible. We just have to make a start, Perrin. We have to raise a standard. We have to lead by example.
You weren't there that day. You were at... Remember when you were at home and me and Mum went to the tower?
Yeah.
You didn't see what I saw. You didn't see what the lioness was capable of. I don't think it matters how many people rise up. Unless they've been in a tower at least half the times that she has. It's not gonna matter.
The lioness isn't here. She's somewhere far away.
The lioness is wherever she wants to be. I was in Andorra. I'll explain it another time. It's a long story.
Where's Andorra?
It's in the north, beyond the island of the Sun Elves. It's been a lot. Some people needed help out there. The Lumarian were the only people we had any way of contacting. They didn't come by boat. They simply arrived. And when they did, they wiped out an army.
Like that day with the tower.
If it wasn't for the Empress, I might think something like this is possible. I don't know that one tavern would be enough, or even what one tavern could raise, but with enough people...
What do you plan to do? Either we never do anything? Or
it's not a case of never. I know...
Or do we hope for someone to come along who's gone in 20 times? Or sway... Do we try... Stop even paying people like Grug? Do we look for people like Sir Gallant?
We can do... Not Sir Gallant. That's another thing entirely.
Yes, he destroyed half the village, but maybe he's the only one who can face her down.
He destroyed all of the village, but that is another long story. I'm not saying we have to hope that someone as strong as the Lioness comes along. I think we can make that happen. That's what I'm trying to do. It's only been a few months. I've been in the tower 5 times. In fact, I did it a bit too fast. Apparently you're not meant to. I'm pacing myself some more now.
I hear it gives you the hiccups.
You know, it's weird. Everyone I've met today has had the hiccups. It's very strange.
Yeah, I know. Even people in mentally and telepathy. God damn it!
I feel like some like level 20 bard is having a joke around with the city as a whole, has cast some weird hiccup spell.
It's the April Fools. Everybody gets hiccups.
Yeah, I don't actually have hiccups. It's just an April Fool's joke. Ha ha ha. They're funny. It's 11 hours now. It's 11 hours with a couple of breaks until Maggie made me laugh and then Bentham made me laugh.
In a few months, I've been in the tower 5 times. I don't plan on stopping. We had a hiccup recently. I had to leave halfway through, but...
I hate you.
Didn't mean to. I didn't mean to.
I thought you were purposely saying it.
No, I'm not.
I was like, clever.
You still get.
No, that's.
Don't you
Didn't
join
mean to.
the temple.
It's
I
just what
don't
I was-
need more people on his side.
Oh dear.
Listen,
I'm gonna
Perrin,
keep
I'll
going.
have this conversation with you. I'll have it more, but maybe another time when I'm not hiccuping. Or I have an entire cellar of people that I have to talk to.
All right, I know. For now, just
But you can't say that you're going to be the one person to go through the towers.
I'm
At
not,
20 levels and take her on single-handed.
It's an idea. It's a way. It's one part of something larger. I just
How many people have got to level 20?
seeing what I've seen, knowing what I've know. If you do this now, but how many weapons you have, it will fail. So please just try and temper expectations. Maybe try and get people to delay something, because if
Okay, we have a plan. We don't need to attack the Empress directly. Look, I'll talk more with you.
All right, I just
Discuss
try
in
and try not to fan the flames. I tried not to, but I think I just made it worse.
No, you did great. That's what they needed. They needed to know they were more than just common folk who
You can
have
turn-
courage and mercenaries like Grug. They need to know that there are people who were born here who became something and came back.
You can turn that into hope that more will come and attempts to reach out for that kind of thing, then that would work a lot better.
Listen, we have a plan. I'll come talk to you. Or better yet, you can come here some other time.
Okay. I'll let you get on. You can talk to me after. And I'll tell you everything if I can even remember it all.
Yeah. He leans in really close. Your mom's doing fine.
Okay, good.
Listen, Listen, we don't get a chance to chat a lot, but I'll let her know.
Okay. I understand, I think.
He nods.
As he like does he filter out to the rest of the group?
He gets a glass of water and drinks it backwards and holds his breath and tries everything. No, he kind of gestures towards Grug. Look, when we break up tonight, Grug's technically on retainer. Go chat with Grug. We'll need to talk later on, but if you need more power, Grug said you have a tower slot booked for tomorrow, right? If you want to get more powerful,
that could work out very well then. Yeah, we can talk.
Great. Listen, I'll try and talk to you soon. Okay? I'll send word. Cunning Warlock. What name are you staying under?
I'm just staying under my real name, aren't I? I had to stay under my real name. I use the tower. They know I'm here.
Oh,
I have kind of by accident gained a small amount of favor with the Lumarian. I'm using it to my advantage.
any information we can get on the inside is always... Yeah, it's at this point that the leader comes over. So, I'm going to have to grab your father, Roy Perrin. We need to do the rounds.
No problem.
Don't worry, we'll be in touch. People like you could be of great help to us.
I look forward to hearing from you.
Turns your father around and they walk off. You left with Grug.
I turn to Grug. You're right. They're doomed.
And it's obvious to anyone but them.
I have to find some way to at least convince my dad. I don't know if I can do anything about the rest of them.
Mm.
You risk being targeted by the Lumarian even working for these guys.
Yes. There's always knocking him over the head and putting him in a barrel and driving him out of town.
I've also got to find my mum. I don't know what's going on there. I can't imagine you do if he can't even say it in here. We used to live a long way from here in a village called Fairmeadow.
Never heard of it.
You wouldn't have. Nobody did for a while. Maybe I could take him back there, but it wouldn't be the same.
It's never the same.
So you have a tower booked for tomorrow.
Yes.
Do you have a team?
I have myself. I don't believe the ones I had scheduled to aid me are still available.
Oh, well, that works out great. I have another friend. 3 people's enough. We can make do.
Yes.
She's a gnome artificer. Are you level 5?
I am.
Perfect.
I'm quite impressed with the equipment that you have. If your friend is similarly equipped, this should go well.
She can look after herself.
Until he sees the other 2 swords.
What class, if I might ask?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
What class?
Oh, I'm a fighter.
Paladin. I'll extend a hand.
Shake hands. Do you have a symbol of whichever god you follow on you?
This is something I forgot to say, but I think an obvious thing Perrin would have done at some point during the meeting was pull out his symbol of Erithis and wear it proudly.
Yeah. Oh, when you do that, you can, when people then see you and notice the change, there's certain murmurs of approval and stuff, and they nod and they clasp at their own ones. You can see half hidden under shawls, and some of them have it attached as a pin through scarves and stuff. They wrap around their heads when they're coming in, but as they come in, they wrap around the necks, put the pin through it. Very obviously, the red cog with the break of Erithis.
This Erithis is the only reason that I helped them. Well, that and their gold.
You're a follower of Erithis, then? The terrible thing what they've done here. Torn out all the symbols. This is supposed to be Erithis' city. You couldn't even tell for looking at it.
Yes, it is wrong.
Why I'm so torn. I agree entirely with what all these people think, but I know that they won't work. If I tell them that, they'll just think that... I don't know, I don't want to rock the boat, but I've seen what the boat can do.
They don't understand real violence. They don't understand what people like me can do.
That's definitely true. Even though they were there when the invasion happened, I was there and I saw it, and the things I've seen since it pales in comparison. Have you ever seen an army of zombies?
I have seen many things. More things than I would like.
Yeah. Perrin just kind of sits down and, head in hands, making sure no one's watching while he does, because he doesn't want to, the big victorious dude with sword that showed up, he doesn't want anyone to look over and be like, oh god, he's having a breakdown.
Just pop upstairs, go up to the innkeep. Have you got a pillow? Yes, I do. Here you go. And you're like, excellent, thank you. You go to the privy, and then you just go, here you go. Hello back.
I'll turn to Grog. Do you have accommodations?
Yes.
You have a terrible, terrible room upstairs that they have given you for free as part of your pay. It's not good. This place is shabby. This is the worst.
I have a place.
If you have to stay here for the duration that they've hired you, then you can come meet us at the the Cunning Warlock in Shadowgate.
DM, do I have to stay here?
You don't have to, no. They have you on retainer. If they need you for an operation or a job security, you have to come, but otherwise they haven't got anything scheduled for a few days.
I will go with you. I would meet this friend of yours.
All right. Sounds like a plan. And tomorrow, I guess we'll see how we do in a tower. Have you been in this tower before?
I have.
Were you successful?
He kind of looks away from him. I was, indicating that the people that were with him weren't.
Ah, I see. We tried the other day. We had to leave halfway through. We were lucky to make it out with our lives. Best part is I don't even remember.
Some do not run quick enough.
And I am told running was involved. Right, well. Pleasure to meet you, and I look forward to fighting by your side. Brandon leans back and just starts watching the proceedings until it's over.
Krug offers his hand to shake hands.
Takes it.
To a successful attempt.
The meeting goes on for about 30 to 40 minutes. The numbers then peter out until there's probably a core group of 4 left. Your father included. You catch them using the name of the leader a few times, although leader is evidently never given you his name, and you think that's probably by design, but you still catch it. Harker.
Okay.
But eventually they do break up. Harker comes over to you. Right, Grug. If we need you, we'll shout. But, thank you.
I will be with him.
All right. Cunning Warlock. Fine. Good luck on your tower tomorrow. With a nod, kind of opens the door, starts snuffing out lamps and stuff, and you're free to go.
So, was my dad saying he wants to talk to me at another date? Was that the idea?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're real awkward if I
I'll be
die
honest,
in the tower
about
tomorrow.
50% of that is I want to have that conversation where I don't have a hiccup. Because doing touching reunions with your dad with hiccups is just going to throw me out of character.
I mean, we're at the end now. We could always start with that if you want. Next time.
That is
Though
true,
maybe
that
your
is true.
hiccups will have gone for an entire week knowing how it goes for you.
That is true. To be fair, I was going to end about here, so that's not a bad idea. So we will end roughly here. I believe that Arena wanted to pop to the tower. But considering you'll have a slot tomorrow, you should be okay. So what were you looking for at the tower?
She was just trying to look for adventurers that maybe we could group up with. But we don't have to RP that if we don't want to. We could just say that that's what she did while Karen was doing this.
You'll
Like if
definitely
it's not going to be,
so
if it's not going to be any like RP that you want.
yeah, I mean, specifically to just since we're towards the end, you'll get a few ideas from this. Firstly, you'll note that like you've never really had to go to a tower to standby. You've always had an access to go in time, whatever. The Dead Cities, there is standby, but it's not as common. But here, there is definitely a large standby pool. The tower is very militarized. You get the sense that they tend to run longer hours for public servants, etc. People generally in military positions. But also anyone who does any sort of service to the government gets the option to go in a tower, regardless of station. And so the tower tends to run about 18 hours a day, is blocked up with city time. In addition, the people on standby have to pay, but they have to pay half rate. And you get quite a few people waiting.
Okay.
Generally, they do clear out the riffraff if it gets too much. Judging by the time of day you went, it wouldn't be too busy, so you'd probably be okay. The hours of 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. are the non-city official times. So that's the times where you get just people who have slots, who've managed to book them and pay for them, etc., generally going in. Obviously, with your connections through the Lemurian Empire and the Elias's offer earlier, you managed to get slots whenever. They will effectively find you a slot regardless.
All right.
In terms of groups looking for additional people who are your level, it is a tough sell to find people who are your exact level. There are probably a few groups who are different levels who might be, but 5 is a tougher number. A little bit rarer. You don't find anyone at the moment, but it's always worth checking, especially if you're in the area.
Okay.
But,
I mean, and I could also be looking out for Pietro because he has the barmaid and him, and they probably need some other people.
That is a lot easier. Finding people who
Yeah.
want to go into town for the first time is far easier. Finding people of quality, a little bit more difficult. But if you would like to start, try and find people for a Pietro's group. Feel free to give me some rolls and we can see what Pietro's group ends up being if you want.
Ooh, okay.
So
Roll 20's
are
been
you-
being really weird today, so just
Yeah, I heard. If
like
you want to
lagging.
give us a few rolls, I would say an insight would be a good starter.
okay, I can do that.
Like when people are going to be good at teamwork and so on.
17.
Okay. Roll me d10.
Oh, just a d10.
That d10. 1.
1.
It's a human. Human with relatively short hair, relatively androgynous looking, and as you approach them, they're talking quite animatedly about, basic tower lore and how they can't wait to do their first level, but they didn't really want to join, any of the public groups or whatever, but they also don't have the money to enter, and they'd like to be able to, and they're trying to convince other groups of people who are entering for their first level to take them on and pay their fare. No one's really taking them up on it. And as they turn around and kind of seat themselves down, you notice that while you were listening in, everything they said was correct. Like their tower lore, their tower knowledge and stuff, everything they said was true. They also seemed like they could handle themselves. And the few times they did try and demonstrate their ability to actually stab with a spear, using what looks like a mop without the actual mop head to demonstrate, the seemed decent from what you know about spears. I mean, you're proficient with even martial weapons, and a spear is a simple weapon. From what you understand, yeah, they seem pretty good at it. Pardon me. So that seems to be someone who at least knows what they're about.
Okay.
If you would like to approach them, you may.
I would, but I personally have to pee like really bad.
In which case, we will
So I don't know
save
if you
that
wanna
for next
RP
week
that
as well.
Next
We'll
week.
save it next week.
But I have to pee like so bad.
In which case, we'll do the outro then, as next week we have Perrin talking to Dad, Arena talking to random androgynous short-haired person who knows what they're about, but no one can take them on because they pay their own way, and also then Grug's tower booking, and we'll see
And
how a
Rendry
3-person tower team
Tonk.
is on.
We're gonna get the location for Rendry.
True. Yeah, you're gonna get that tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, let's go through everything. Reminder, Mass Effect Mercs is starting in next week, not this week, Saturday next week, not Sunday as it used to be. It's going to be Saturday for 4 weeks with the amazing cast, so bear that in mind. In addition, I'm trying to find it now. Where is it? The Near-Death map and the Tower Floor GM notes are becoming soon, and potentially after that, maybe even another floor if you're lucky. But the map will be going up soon if you would like to check it out. And in addition, Time Zone Weirdness is over. So with that said, let's start with where you can find people until next week. And of course, since Temple is here for the first time, Temple, who are you, what do you do, and where can we find you until next week?
I'm Blind Temple on Twitter, @BlindTemple. I do accessibility stuff for the blind. I am on there pretty much 24/7 since I'm a blind guy trapped in a room. And if you need any help with accessibility stuff, feel free to DM me at any time.
And Bentham, what about you?
I have Bentham. I have a YouTube channel and a Twitch channel, which are confusingly called Mangled Pork and Mangled Pork Gaming, where I play games, funnily enough, that include but aren't limited to Valheim, and Valheim. And then maybe there might be a Factorio thing that could be coming out, hopefully before midnight today, so that it is still technically April 1st. We'll see how that goes.
Okay, and Maggie, no longer exploding with pent-up pee. What about you?
Dude, you have no idea. I had to pee so bad. Like, I don't know if you've ever
I
peed.
do
and-
have the idea. Don't
have you
worry.
ever
I
peed and
understand.
you're like, that was a satisfying pee? That's what happened.
We were literally talking about it with Dave last week.
Yeah. I was like, I don't think I can make it through an RP scene. I'm like, I have to go really bad. Hey, you can find me. I'm Margaret Crone in all the places because I'm Margaret Crone. That's my name. I don't know where I'm going with that. I do lots of things on the internet, a lot of tabletop RPG stuff. So if RPG things are your jam, come follow along the journey. And I'm doing all kinds of stuff. So I'll always let you know whenever I'm live. on all of my social platforms. And then beyond that, I also make video games for a living. I'm currently working on a game called Ashes of Creation, and you can find it at Ashes of Creation in all of the places. And that's me. Follow Roll for it, because we do lots of cool stuffs.
Speaking of people you should follow, what about EE?
Oh, I didn't know if you guys got through everybody already. Enter Elysium. Where can people find you?
People can find me at youtube.com/Interelysium, twitch.tv/Interelysium, where I play games such as Evil Genius. That's it at the moment, right? Yeah, okay. There are other things as well.
See, I think Evil Genius is... Oh, I was thinking Evil Geniuses is like an esports team.
As an esports team, yeah. Right, yes. Okay. Also, we had a tip today.
And a hiccup.
I thought you said we got a pip.
We had a tip today. Finley Shards tipped $50. Thank you for another fun evening. Welcome to the PUBG Grug. Hope the next tower trip goes a lot better than the last time.
Me
Finley
too.
Shards. Thank you very much. I just greatly appreciate it.
Wait, did he have expletives in the thing? Or you... Stop.
Doing it every time I hiccup.
Oh, I see. Okay. It just makes
It's
it very
funnier.
intense.
It's just funnier
Oh, I don't know.
than hiccuping. So, thank you very much, everyone.
We'll be back next week. But until then, just hold your breath, drink a pint of water. I don't know, whatever you do.
We hope. We hope the dice roll ever in your favor. Here, I'll add some extra ones in there. Bye.
Bye.